So he pulled it out and shot his fat over a whole lot. Hello, everyone. Good evening. How are we doing?
We're on you, prick.
Oh, sorry. Anyway, so how's it going? Happy Saturday. I've right out. John's on it today. How's it going, pal? He's up for a bit of controversy. Is John today? So, welcome to Saturday. And it's all my first beer since last week. Although I did have a glass of wine on Wednesday, didn't I?
Yeah.
Although I couldn't freeze my glass because there's all frigging food in bloody freezer, isn't there? Stupid woman.
Yeah, I was pretty quiet yesterday. We had a few beers in the afternoon, and I had the spot tuned in, and I woke up in a drunken stupor.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
No, wait, I just woke up half asleep.
You did sound drunk though. When you thought, I thought, God, he's been on piss.
When I playing poker, and I only had 3 pints. That was it. Till about.
You said you had 5 yesterday when you spoke to me. Last night. Yeah, last night when I spoke to you.
It was yesterday afternoon. We were in the pub for 2:30.
Oh, were you? And you only had 5 pints, did you?
Might even been 4.
Might even been 10.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. We used to have a few home.
Oh, God. Oh, I had a bloody embarrassing thing the other day. Oh, God. So, Bill comes downstairs. Dad, what's love juice? What? He says, what's love juice? I thought, oh, no. I thought, right, I'll totally be honest with him, like, and everything. I says, right. I says, what it is, I says, when 2 people are going to have sex and, the woman gets aroused, I says, the vagina gets all wet, gets all wet, ready for, the winky to go in, like, and everything. I says, and that's love juice, like. I was like, oh, God. I says, why are you asking that? What are you doing? He says, oh, I've been watching tennis.
I knew it was going. I didn't know where it was going.
I got a laugh front toilet. Mary Jane went in toilet then. I had a right big laugh front toilet. Oh yeah, we don't want Floy. Oh dear. Oh, John said, good evening, Andy. Good evening, Louise. One of my better ones, John says.
Yeah.
Quite topical, isn't it?
Yeah, we'll start off with that liaisons officer thing. Did you?
I started watching it. Yeah, I haven't watched it all. I've only watched a bit of it, but it does look really interesting. I saw the bit where
the recap's probably the better. Watch them both anyway.
Yeah.
1991's.
Well, I tell you what, I noticed so much. Everybody just smoking all over the show.
Oh, yeah.
It's just almost like it's a comedy.
What? And when you watch it, I recognise that smell. I can smell what them offices were like. Do you know where the teachers were and all that?
Yeah.
Thinking of fags.
Now, that's interesting because I was listening to a podcast the other day and it was that Duncan Trelsall. Hey up, Ray! How you doing? Ray's up for a bit of action.
Hello.
How you doing, pal?
Salam alaikum.
Salam alaikum. Yeah, so when you in your memories, you can't remember, you can't bring to mind a smell or a taste.
What?
In your memory,
yeah.
Right, when you think back, you can't remember a smell or a taste.
You can.
Can you? Can you do that?
Yeah.
Right then, so you can look back now and you can remember. You can remember. Do you know how you smell it?
Not always. Like certain things, you like jogs your memory.
No, not when you smell. It makes you remember something.
No,
when
no,
you can actually. So
you and the smell comes with it, and
can it?
Yeah.
I think about it. I couldn't. I can remember it, like thinking of a smell, but not actually getting the smell. Do you know, like, do you know when you remember something, you're there, aren't you?
I can't think what it was, but it's something to do with an old woman. And and I seen this old woman at a program. And I just remembered going into my grandma's house and the smell of it. You know, like a cactus. You know, they always have cactuses and the biscuit thing. That smell.
Can you recall that smell now?
The coal fire.
Yeah, but can't you know when you?
I'm smelling it now. I can smell.
Are you smelling it now? Right. That's why I can't do that.
Yeah. Can you not? Well, picture your granddad's house.
I don't want to picture it all. I do it all.
Your granddad's house now, straight away.
No, I can picture the house, but I can't picture the smell.
I can smell it. I can smell your granddad's house right now.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, and the fire, like the fire there, and you're always pissing around with coal fire, weren't you?
Yeah. I like that every bloody morning. Evening, Daz. Evening, Ray. Welcome back, Ray. I think Ray's up for the bit of the conversation. We'll look for you on that one, Ray. I can. I smell something here that I smell. Hey, I can. I smell something here that I've smelt from when I was younger.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, it's a different thing, like a memory. But Stevie C says, I'm not saying you can't. I just reminisce. I thought.
Yeah, Ray, we're going to put the link up in a bit, and anybody wants to join in. Waffling shite for a bit.
It's not going to be shite. We're going to just prove this nonsense that goes.
I can't wait to tell you about our Calvin is a prostitute.
Oh yeah, go on, get that out there. Yeah.
No. Jimmy's here. All right, Jimmy.
All right, Jimmy. I thought you'd fallen out with us. I thought you were all upset because I said movie night. Because I said movie night. You fell end.
Granddad's arse. Yeah, you know my granddad's arse smell. I didn't know about any of granddad's. You know, was his granddad like a granddad to me? I felt, yeah. He was like me, like, will you be my granddad as well? I'm got a granddad.
Yeah, what did he give you? He gave you his really old boxing book and you fucking lost it.
And I beat him for £1 at the boxing bet. He weren't happy about that. Yeah. Anyway, I can't believe we've only been here for a few months. I'm not going to say we've fallen on hard times, but we live in a very rough area, and my nephew is a prostitute. Isn't it weird how different it is? I thought about this. I thought, imagine it was our Kimberly and she was a prostitute. You'd be like, oh my God. Because Calvin's a prostitute. It's like, get in there, lad.
Yeah, it's always been that, though, hasn't it? When you're lads shagging, go on, lad. You know.
Anyway, what about this? Fuck, this was on Friday. On my way home from work, man. It rings. He puts it on loudspeaker. Right, oh fucking hell! Hello, is that the massage? Is that the masseur there? I'm like that. Calvin, yeah, that's me. Can I help you? I'm thinking, is this a wine?
She's got a very deep voice.
Yeah, shit. She says, do you do couples? Well, it's mainly for women. Well, it's for women, like, you know. But it says, yeah, right. But do you do couples? It's well, I kind of will do, but not really. As long as it depends what's kind of in. Could you like tell me what you're actually kind of after? When yeah, right. Well, I'm thinking. I'm already like that. Going, right, what I want is I want you to go down with my wife for half an hour, like a good half an hour. I'm thinking, fuck, he's really getting this guy's really.
Good half an hour, you get fucking locked, Joe.
Tongues and a lot, proper French kissing. I want you to read as a French kisser, Fanny. Would you be able to do? Would you be able to do that? I swear to God, he was wanking as he was talking to us. You can hear him. Would you be able to do? How much experience have you got at that? He goes, well, I'm 36. I'm quite experienced, and yeah, no, I like that kind of thing. She says, but what would you be doing? So, oh, no, nothing like that. I just, I just want you. You can touch me, but not like under my clothes. He's going, oh no, I'm not. She says, no, it's nothing fancy, but I just want you to. He goes, and anyway, let's get. She says, well, what you like at licking pussy? Any good and all? She says, because she's got a massive fucking clit. I had to climb out the window. How Cal gets a straight face through all this? I get to. I said, he's wanking now. It was all like a fancy what he was doing. Like, he was never going to. You could hear it. Oh my god, it was fucking funny. And that was his first call.
Did he go that night?
Oh, I said, don't go. I said, he'll fucking drug and bum you in. Do not go to him. And when I got his phone number, I went around for about an hour.
How do you know he drug and bum him? He might not feel like that.
You tell him his voice, you would not. It was just. It all started very normal. Like, are you the massager? Is this the masseur? Blah blah blah. Yeah. And then his voice is going a bit more like that. He's got a massive fucking clit. Oh my god, it was funny. Anyway, back to simulations.
Yeah, we simulated that. Oh,
Does my internet keep stopping, Louise?
It's all right on my end, so I don't. Is the internet all right, everyone? It's not cocking up, is it?
Anyway, we'll crack on.
Oh, you're such a gay one then. Oh, Steve. Right then, so Steve, tell everybody the simulation theory, and I'll put the links up.
What link?
The links for people to come in, you tit.
Eh?
Just tell everybody. What's the simulation theory, Steve?
Well, I think quite possibly that we are in a simulation. The reasons being is the scale of our existence. It's almost to the point of it's not possible that we're alive. It's that the number is that huge. I was looking into some of the numbers of how not only being born and all that is a huge number, but being actually alive now. There's a similar math number or thing. If 2 million people all had dice with 1 trillion sides and they all flipped the dice at the same time and all landed on a number, it's like a 10-digit number, the exact same number. That's a similar type of math it is for us to exist, which it sounds impossible, doesn't it? That math sounds impossible. The 2 million.
Again, the dice has got to what? I don't quite understand that.
The point is, it's a ridiculous thing that doesn't sound possible. Right. 2 million people at the same time are flipping a dice with 1 trillion sides, and all of them hit that same 10-digit number at the same time. It's ridiculous, isn't it? Yeah. Will you agree that that's ridiculous?
Yeah, but these things happen.
Yeah, the point is, it's a similar number for us existing right now. Ray's here. Come on, Ray.
Yeah, go on. Just tell everybody what he's first. Hello, Ray.
My point is that the math and our existence are almost impossible, but yet we're here. We're all here doing it.
Yeah.
So that is the point. It's just so bizarre that we're actually here now, and yet the likelihood that in the future we're going to be able to make a game that is exactly the same as life. The way we're going to advance is quite likely, if we can get there, that we will make a simulation of life. So them odds are quite likely compared to the impossible odds that we're here now. Add together, there's 35, I think. No, it's 37. I'm getting a bit lost now with the math. But you get my point. It's basically, the whole thing is ridiculous. So it's more likely that we are in a simulation than not.
Okay, Ray.
Case closed.
What's your take on that, Ray? Good to see you, Ray, by the way. Good to see you, pal. See you a long time.
You know, guys, it's good to see you as well. It's good to see you as well, guys. I think there's as much of a chance that we are as we're not. In other words, I don't know, but I think there's a strong possibility that we are.
Why?
Well, I'm getting lots of echo here, guys. I don't know what's going on, but it's every
So
time I
you got
come on through, I'm getting a lot of echo on
Have you
my
got
phone.
anything? Have you got anything open, Ray?
I was doing the echo joke then, by the way.
Yeah, no.
No, I've not got anything. No.
So it's just
Anyway,
stream, right?
yeah,
It's
just
your
stream.
echo.
Yeah, there's some. For me, guys, without going in, we've spoke about other things anyway. But for me, this last couple of years has sort of reinforced my perception that we probably are in a simulation, because I'm finding today's world a bit difficult to process.
It's changed my way of thinking as well. This last couple of mad years, it's definitely affected the way I think. I'm thinking
Yeah.
a lot more out of the box than I used to
Yes.
think. I think it was
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
logical, really logical. Now I'm not.
Yes, I was.
that-
Steve. I've always been like that, but I've always thought too outside of the box. But I'd like to think of myself as very rational and logical. But I've always looked at different things. I've still got an open mind. But this last couple of years, wow, yeah, I think there's more chance that we are in a simulation probably than we're not. That's what I think.
See, what I find about this whole thing is it's like almost like atheists and stuff like that. Almost like we have to have a god of some sort, and it's like, well,
I don't get that.
well, you're saying that it has to be designed, don't you? If
No,
you're in
I don't-
simulations,
I don't
no,
say.
somebody's designed it, haven't they?
I'm not sure whether it's somebody or it
For a
ends up being.
simulation, if it's a simulation, it has to be created
No,
by
a lot of
somebody.
these things I don't know. I'm not saying I know it's this. Somebody's made a game. It's a little kid on the thing, and it was all a little kid. I'm not saying I know anything about that. I'm saying that in the future, these things are definitely going to be possible if we can make it that far.
Yeah, so you're saying this is a simulation. That's what it
So
all
it's
is.
more likely if we can make it that far, then it's more likely that we're in a simulation now.
Why? Why is it more
this being the
likely?
first time.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, though. So if you're saying it's that, then somebody's created it.
No, I'm not saying that.
That's what a simulation is.
It doesn't mean to be somebody or something or somehow, maybe AI or whatever. Or I'm not saying
but
the answer of who or why.
It's created us.
Well,
The
something
creator.
Something
The
has
creator
done,
created
obviously.
us.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
not
what I'm saying then.
Well, I'm not saying it. I'm not saying I know who's done it or why. Right. Do you not think in the future? Just think, right. We're going to go for 1 year, 100 years ahead of us. And realistically, or possibly, we've got millions of years ahead of the human race or Earth before the burnout, whatever. We've got tons of years. Pretty much.
Yeah, we've got millions of years, yeah.
Look what we've done in the last 100 years. So add only 100 years to this, and how far where the advancement is going to be. We can't even imagine how far advanced we're going to be. Because 10, 20 years ago, people were coming out with shit and they're talking about it when it didn't seem possible. And things that have come up, you're going, wow. So we can't fully imagine never mind millions of years, in 100 years, how far we're going to go.
So why do you not believe that we are the original and we're moving up to that stage? Why do you believe that we're not the original?
Because listen, in the future, if we get to that point, right, let's just say we have done. You get me right? We've got to the point where we can make a simulation of life.
Yeah.
And it could be infinite times this. Because the scale of things are just we can't get our head around the scale. That's why I was trying to give that example of the math and the odds of us being here right now. It's so huge, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, so but I mean that's how things happen, though, isn't it?
No, but it's the scale of everything.
What
That's why because of the scale of everything, but we're here now.
What do you mean the universe? What do you mean the scale of everything?
The scale of existence, eternity before now, eternity after now, but we're here in the moment. We are here in the moment.
Yeah.
The scale is that it's just incredible. Yet we're here.
I think I don't know. I think what Steve's trying to say is, I think, excuse me, in our lifetime, we've had a massive, massive change in humanity, what we've never seen before. In our lifetime, we've never seen changes like this. It's been huge. If you look at last, I don't know, 40 years, even 20 years, it's been a massive changes, which we've never seen before. But maybe I'm getting maybe I'm thinking a little bit different. I don't think so much, maybe it's a simulation, Steve, I don't know. But I think it's more like we live in a quantum reality where we're sort of in an information field and we're decoding that information. So it is like a simulation, I suppose. But maybe it's always been like that. Maybe it's always been a simulation.
Yeah, but somebody has to create this. Yeah, but somebody has to create that simulation.
That's correct. Yeah, I agree. I agree, Was. And I would say in that case, if you looked at history, but we don't really know what history is, to be honest with you. But you could say, yes, there's a creator. There is a creator. You could call it God. You could call it consciousness. You could call it soul. But yes, there will be some form of creator. But maybe this is just an information field which we decode.
Well, that's all we do. But that's what we do anyway. Well, that's all we do is decode information. That's all we do. We take on information. No, that's what we do.
No, what I mean
take on all the information around us, everything, every kind of information, everything affects us.
No, I don't mean that, Was. What I mean is, for example, I'm sitting on a chair, but am I sitting on a chair, or is this just information what I decode as a chair?
Well, that's yes and no, isn't it? You're sitting on a chair.
That's what I mean. Now you could say, yeah, but it's solid. But like Steve says, some of these games now, for example, these virtual realities, you wouldn't know. They put sensors on. You think everything's solid. How do you know that's not happening already and always has done?
Because I don't think you can sit. I think your legs will be giving you.
No.
I'm not thinking in the future that we will be able to make a game or a version. It doesn't have to be a game, but whatever it is, where we will not be able to tell the difference between reality and whatever this thing that you put you into.
I think they could do that pretty much now, Steve. They're not far off that now.
No, there's no way. They're not. They're a long, long way off that now. Ray, they're so far off that now.
Will be able to do it.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. No, I'm not saying that because we don't know what we can do in the future. We don't know. You know what I mean? Simple as that. But the thing is,
we massively don't know shit. That's something.
But no. Let's get back to your belief that you believe that we're in a simulation, and I want to know.
What I've just been talking about.
Yes, but what I want to know
in the future, is it possible? And the answer, I think, clearly is
we don't know. Well, we don't know, do we? If you're going to simulate a universe,
of course we don't know. But is it likely that we're going to be that far advanced, technically, that we would be able to?
Well, let's break it down. Let's break it down, right? If you're going to do a simulation,
stop. You haven't listened to what I've said then, or I'm on about the actual. Will we be able to replicate a simulation where it's exactly the same as life?
And that's what I was just going to. That's what I was just going to ask the question. I knew what you were saying.
Yes.
That's why I was talking.
They're not far off that now. They're not far off that now.
Yes, no, innit?
No, but it isn't because right. Shut up and let me explain. What you're doing now, what you're going to simulate is the universe, right? You've got to get down to the fine minutiae of everything. And is it one person that's simulated, or are we all?
Everything.
So all the consciousness,
any possible way.
Right. So we're all walking round. Right,
You're
and
all
we all have.
individual.
So we all have our own individual consciousness, right? We're all conscious, yeah. And then we're all walking around. I mean, why don't you think then that this is the original timeline?
Because I'm getting to that with the future thing. I'm on about. You've got to start from the future, not now.
Why?
Because in the future, well, because if it's a simulation, it's something that's been done in the future. Because we
have to get to that future.
You're missing the point, aren't you?
No, we've got to get there.
We've got to start from the future. If this is a simulation now, it's done in the future.
Right.
We're living in the present tense. What we're doing, we're talking, and we're living in our presence. But for it to be a simulation, it's been done in the future.
But we have to get to that future.
Steve, sorry. What I want to say here, you have no idea, nor have I, obviously. We don't know what's available, what's in the hidden, what we don't know. How do you know it has to be in the future? It could have been in the past. We don't know what. This has probably always been a simulation. You could argue that. Well, it's never been anything. It's never been anything else.
It has to be the future.
Yeah, but we have to get to that future, Steve.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
Yeah, it does.
We have to get to the future, eh? We can't just suddenly start in the future.
No, for in the scene, but you don't know what's. I find it hard to believe these things, what they keep invented, they've just invented them that quick. How do you know they've not been developed years ago and then slowly introducing us into it and stuff like that?
Well,
we don't know.
I think that's going a bit off topic. That's a bit.
Is that going off topic? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because the thing is about a simulation, isn't it?
You're talking about simulations. How can we be going off bloody topic, man?
Because you're on about
whether it not be the reality.
Well, it's super confusing. It is, and I'm not coming here saying I've got the answers and this is exactly what I think it is. Not for 1 minute. You know what I mean?
Dick, hang on, let me catch up with chat. Sorry, everyone. Sorry, let me catch up with chat. Where are we? If we're living in a simulation,
have a chat break.
Yeah, chat break. Sorry, Ray, just catch up with that. Where are we? Our Janet say, hello, Janet. Have you been metal detecting, Ray? That says Jimmy. I asked my dad about living in a simulation, and he said, absolutely not, lad. I remember the Johnny splitting when you came out. No simulation here. If we are living in a simulation, who's paying that electricity bill? No simulation, but manipulation. It's all about control in the real world.
Real world?
I want to know what they're up to with that large hadron collider. They're colliding atoms and stuff like that. Call it Trekor. Call it Trekor. DARPA technology is 20 years advanced than what we have now.
Yes.
What's DARPA technology?
At least.
What's DARPA technology?
DARPA is the military. It's the military technology.
That's always been the case, hasn't it?
But when they say it's more advanced than what we have now, if we have it now, then how can it be more advanced than what we have now?
Because they're not going to show it to you. They're not going to show it to you.
The military don't tend to show the secrets, do they?
Exactly. Well, exactly.
When you smoke a lot of weed, it prevents the ability to cure, which probably helps the enemy. Was he talking about solipsism? Solipsism? What's that? Solipsism. Solipsism? What's solipsism?
I've heard of that before, but I can't think what it is now.
Who is doing this simulation? Because if that's what you think, someone is controlling this, so who is that? Agreed.
It's always
agrees with you.
Right.
Yeah, but it's always been.
I don't know the answers. I'm just going off what we'll be in the future. We'll be able to do, and it is to make this.
Yeah, but you don't know what reality is, though, do you? So when you say it's going off topic, I'm sorry, I disagree. I don't think it is off topic because you were saying reality as though you know what reality is. What's reality?
Well, this is our reality. This is our reality, Ray.
We're in our reality.
Yeah, but are we in a real world or are we in a quantum world?
Well, this is what we're discussing.
We're in our world.
Yeah,
Ray.
but you said that's off topic.
No,
I'm
Ray.
saying it's always just bear with us. Well, sorry, I'm saying this has always been a quantum world. It's always been a quantum world. Nothing's changed. It's just that the human is developing within that quantum world.
Yeah. It's called evolution, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's still a quantum world, or it could be.
Well, we have quantum physics, don't we? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the idea is when you say what's reality, my reality and all our realities here is the same.
It's not.
Of course it
My
is.
reality is not the same as yours.
Well, how's it different?
Because I think totally different to you.
No, but physically, how's it physically different?
Because I don't even know if this is physical.
Yeah, but we're all
I don't
doing.
know. I don't know, seriously. I don't know if I'm in... I don't know if I...
If I came over and sat on your chair, I'd sit on your chair. And you'd be actually saying, if I pick them books up and you pick them books up, it'd be exactly the same.
Certain things are the same.
Yeah, but I wouldn't know. I still wouldn't know if that's physical or information being decoded. I wouldn't know.
Yeah, but see, this is kind of like that's all.
That's quantum. That's quantum physics.
Yeah,
that's quantum.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing
Ray,
is,
Ray, do you understand quantum physics?
No. No. Who does? Who does? Who does? Who does?
Quantum physics.
Who does? No, they don't.
Quantum physics.
No more. No,
but the thing is, that's it. So everything. Look, we know for a fact that it's all atoms that are all bound together by.
No, we don't. No, we don't. We don't know that.
I do.
We don't know that. Who's told you that? How do you know that?
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
I'm sorry, what? You're talking bollocks. You don't know. You don't know. I'm not having it that you know as it's all atoms. How do you know that? Who's told you that bullshit? Who's put that bullshit in your head?
These scientists that I'm listening to.
Who's put that bullshit in your head? How do you know that?
Science!
Science! And there's only one science. There's only one science. Bollocks! I've never heard that's bollocks.
So Ray, how do you know then that that's bollocks?
I don't, that's what I'm telling you. I don't know, but you do. You know and I don't. I don't know, you do. You know what reality is, but I don't.
I don't, Ray. You're making no sense there whatsoever.
Right.
So you're going to go round. So you're going to walk round going, I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. I don't know why that's doing that. I don't know if this is hot or cold.
You laugh, listen. I'm saying I don't know if this is an information field or a physical reality. I don't know. You say you do know. And I'm saying, how the hell do you know that?
Because, like, scientists have looked at it.
Oh, well, scientists will know. Scientists know everything. I've never known bullshit. How can you say that? Do the quantum scientists think that? No, they don't.
Ray, scientists don't know everything. That's the best thing about being a scientist, because
exactly. So, but you were saying was that you know, and I'm saying I don't know. But you say you know. This is physical.
I tend to go off the people that do that for a living. I tend to
like. What about the quantum? What about the quantum scientists?
I've never listened to a quantum scientist.
Oh well, there you go.
Have you listened to a quantum scientist?
Yeah.
And what did they say?
They say, you're bloody smart, you, Ray. You've got it sus, mate.
I thought that they got into it a bit more than that, a quantum scientist.
Well, it's hard, and I can't, because, look, I don't pretend. This is what I'm trying to say to you was, I don't know. This is my point. But you were so fixed in your beliefs that this is a physical reality. And how do you know? You said because the scientists say so. And I'm saying, which scientists?
Ray, if I bang my head against this wall here, it's going to fucking hurt. Do you know why? Because it's solid.
You know what? They'll be able to put you in a virtual reality game, and you'll be able to do the same, and they'll still hurt your head, even though it's not physical.
No, not in a
virtual reality, because you think it's physical, so it'll still hurt your head.
It doesn't work like that in a physical.
It bloody well does. You wouldn't do it. You would not do it. I'm telling you
but
wouldn't
if
do
you do
it.
bang your head, it doesn't hurt in a physical reality game now.
Does it not?
Not now, but
I don't know.
No,
it's all in the head. Have you seen people who can endure a lot more pain than you because they manage it through the thought processes? It's the same thing.
Yeah,
it's all in your head.
Pain is just information. We know that.
Well, there you go.
You know what I mean? But if I bang my head against something solid, The reason why it's
No.
hurting is because it's impacted all that, and then everything in my brain, all the
Look,
cells and everything are all damaged.
I'm not saying you're not correct, but what I'm also saying is I don't know. You might be talking complete bollocks, right? That's what I'm saying. I don't know. So, do I think it's a quantum reality? More than I do probably know a physical one. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because everything's broke down to the smallest, isn't it? That's what the quantum is. It's the smallest things, isn't it? That's where we're at the moment. Quantum physics is all breaking it down to the smallest thing, isn't it? That's what it all is. And that's the thing. We keep going. That's what quantum is. We keep going smaller and smaller, trying to find the smaller and smaller. Because basically, that's the building blocks of everything, isn't it?
Okay. Let me just say this to you, Waz. This is the best way I can explain it to you. I'm looking at you and Stino on here. I've got the good fortune.
Yep.
There you go. Where's he gone? Where's
I'm
he
going
gone?
for another drink. Carry on. I can hear you. I can hear you. I'm going for a drink.
Calm down, Ray.
So I'm looking at you two now on my tablet here now.
Yeah.
There are no wires anywhere.
Yep.
And I'm seeing you in a different location. I'm not connected to anything. So what I'm doing now, this tablet is processing an information wave field and turning it into a visual display. How do you know we're not doing that?
How do you know what? Sorry, it just crackled in.
How do you know we're not doing that?
We are doing that. That's what your eye does.
Oh, bollocks.
Your eye takes light. Your light gets light.
No, was. I'm going to wait till you come back. I like speaking to you when your face is right.
Sorry, I'm just pouring a drink, Ray. Back in 1 second. Hold on, pal.
Well, it does, though, doesn't it, Ray? That's how
the eye works.
Yeah, but let me just
working together to gather
information. Let me just put that to you again. I'm looking at you two now on my screen here, my tablet, and there are no wires whatsoever except for my headphone wire. There are no wires. So that information is coming to this tablet through an information waveform, and it's coming into that tablet. And then what's happening? I'm decoding that information and seeing it there. How do you know that we're not doing that in the real world, as you call it? Exactly the same. I'm getting an information wave field, and I'm decoding it into a physical reality. How do you know we're not doing that?
We are.
Sorry?
But we are.
How do you
That's
know?
what I'm saying. We are.
Well,
so it's not physical then?
Well, because we are doing it. Who's
hello, Otangelo. How's it going, Otangelo?
Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hi.
Sir. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Where are you from, bro?
I am Swiss Italian, but I live in Brazil.
All right.
Excellent. How have you found this channel, or is it a topic?
Yeah, the topic. If you put in atheism and then who is live, then your channel shows up.
Mm.
Oh, excellent.
All right. Right. I see. Yeah, but basically, do you know what we're talking about tonight, Otangelo?
Yes, and I think it is a very interesting topic. And
what are your thoughts?
Well, my thoughts are, there are two worldviews. One where there is a God and the other where there is no God, right? So this is a true dichotomy. I am a Christian, so I believe God exists. And I have my worldview based on the revelation of God. Now, if you remove God from the picture, then you can't basically know anything anymore, because then everything is basically possible. You can indeed be just the product of a brain in a vat, or just be a computer simulation of a 15-year-old from a parallel universe. You don't know.
Well, I agree. I agree with that. You don't know. But my point on that, Otangelo, what I was saying before is we have this fixation with about something. Always seems to be that there's some kind of creator. We have the simulation idea. Somebody has to create it. It's like as the religious people have the gods and stuff like that, and then you have all of a sudden it just seems like. So now the atheists and all that, we've got this. Now, not everybody thinks like this, but there's this now. Well, if we're in a simulation type thing, which what fascinates me about this is why we think it's a great. If everybody was stoned in a room and having a spliff, it's one of those conversations where you can imagine all this. So you can imagine it all, and it does. You can run with it because it's like the God thing. You can go on forever with it, with the idea of the simulation, trying to prove it or disprove it. Because even to the point where if you disproved and made fact that it was it was not a simulation. The people who say it's a simulation could say, but they programmed that into the simulation for you to be able to, to come up with that solution.
Oh, that is true.
Do you know what I mean? So it's
That
one of those
literally is
things
true.
again. It's absolutely true. See, there's also a thing called Thursdayism. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
Right, Thursdayism is a fascinating. It comes from, I think it was a bit of a piss take from this thing called, what was it called?
Piss tech is a joke in English.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. The ophthalmos hypothesis was that the Earth was only made 6,000 years ago. It's good to see there, attention. The Earth was made 6,000 years ago, right? And then what they said was that all the history, it was only that old, but we had the history. We started 6,000 years ago, and we have all the history programmed into us, like put into us, so to make it look like we were like, we're a lot older than what we actually are. This is what their idea is, right? So 6,000 years.
When I was a teenager, I remember I was in a train, and then I was thinking to myself, is it possible that I am the only conscient being in this train, and that everything around me is just a simulation? These could be robots, and I don't know.
Yeah.
Yes, but then the thing I thought about that as well, and I thought, right, so everything else, so it's just me, but it isn't, because the things that when people go away and come back, I don't know, that doesn't make, because everybody has their own lives and experiences. Like when you get to know somebody really well, they're not a simulation.
Yeah, but just because it's complex, it doesn't mean it's not true. Look how complex the universe is and everything. We know that much about everything. That's how complicated things are. That's what I was talking about, the math of things before. It's just the whole thing is almost unimaginable.
I don't think the universe is complex. I think we just don't have all the pieces to suss it out. I think we don't have all the information. I reckon if we had all the information, imagine like a jigsaw puzzle, and you're trying to look at it, but you've got loads of pieces missing.
Yeah.
And if you had all the pieces, you go, ha, it's easy. You know what I mean? I don't think everything's that complex. I think it's just that we don't have the information.
Well, I actually disagree with that. I think that the more science unravels in regards of how the universe works, the more it recognizes that it is actually very complex, and there are more and more layers of complexity, and there are many things that must be just right in order for us to exist. And that, of course, demands an explanation. Why is that so? Like the laws of physics, they basically permit that the universe works in an orderly fashion, and we can make predictions, and we can believe that tomorrow will probably be the same as it is today and it was yesterday. But that isn't just a given. That demands an explanation. Why are the four fundamental forces stable rather than constantly oscillating or even popping in and out of existence? That would be perfectly possible. So that demands an explanation. The same thing. Why are?
Go on, Ray.
What a tango. When he says God, I look at, this is how I see things, and this is not, I see God as I just have different names: God, consciousness, soul. I class all those as God. That's what I think God is. I think God is consciousness. That's what I think God is. Yeah. Right? I'm not a religious person, but that's how I see God. God to me is consciousness. And God is the creator. Consciousness is the creator. We're all one consciousness. All of us are connected. All of us.
I've always liked that idea that we're a sea of consciousness, and each person's a droplet of that sea of consciousness.
But you know what the problem is with that, Ray? All scientific evidence points to the conclusion that most likely the universe had a beginning. And if it had a beginning, then you are the product of this universe, then you cannot be God by definition.
Well, I don't know. This is the problem, isn't it, with scientific evidence? And that's why I always say, and I'm just being honest, I really don't know. It's not to sit on the fence. It's just as to know. If you said to me,
Oh, it's not this future.
Ray, this happened in 1682 or whatever, I'd go, how do you know that? How do you know? You don't
You know,
know.
I
Nobody
agree
knows
with you,
anything.
Ray.
Nobody knows anything, as far as I'm concerned.
Ray, I agree with you. And if I would be a non-believer in God, then I would be ultimately a nihilist, which would confess I don't know anything, because you cannot know anything unless you have a revelation from above where the Creator reveals Himself and says, this is what happened. That's how I made it. That's why I made it. That's the reason why I created you. That's your future. Then you
Yeah,
can know. But if you
yeah.
don't have that revelation, then you are basically flowing in ignorance, and you can't know anything.
But that's the
No,
good
I
Yeah.
thing.
disagree with
That
that.
yeah, because
Sorry?
yeah, because
Go on, sorry,
I don't
Steve. What did you
I don't
say,
believe.
Steve?
Sorry, Steve. Go on,
What
Steve.
did Steve say? Sorry, what did
You're
Steve
right.
say then? Sorry.
No, I was saying I disagree with it. Just because you don't believe in God or a type of God, doesn't mean you have to go, well, I don't know anything else. You
Yeah.
can still have your views. You can still
No,
look
I
and
think.
think something.
Sorry,
Doesn't
Steve.
mean
I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it like that, Steve. What I'm saying is,
no, saying what
history history can be rewritten very easily. Very easily. They're rewriting
well,
it
it
now.
can.
They're rewriting it now. The book burning now, as far as I'm concerned. So after a couple of generations, you don't know what was what. How do you know? How do you know?
You
Let
can't
I
me
go
really
answer
through.
to
don't.
that, Steve. Let me answer to that, Steve. If you are not created by God, then you are consequently the product of natural, unguided processes, and you can infer eventual evolution. The thing is that if your brain is the product of evolution, then you cannot trust anything that happens in your brain and anything that you are thinking about, because you are the product of non-intelligent, non-guided stochastic processes.
Yeah, but
No,
the
I'm the
thing. Yeah, but the
product.
thing. Sorry,
I'm,
Steve. Go on.
I'm the product of evolution that's got me to this point of where I am. Obviously, we're going away from the stimulation thing, but just in the reason I'm here and I've got this far is through family and through genetics and through, there are reasons I've got here.
But we have a consciousness as well that's different than anything else on this planet. I mean,
Yeah.
the fact that we're asking these questions now, especially the fact that is life a simulation? I mean, you can imagine almost like some kind of animal that's like having sex and eating grass and looking at them thinking, what are they on about? Do you know what I mean?
Well, they don't
we,
even
we,
question it.
I know, that's what I'm saying. So for us to question whether they're in a simulation, for us to have a belief in some kind of deity, some kind of force that created us, and then obviously the questions go on what created the the God or whatever. Do you know what I mean? So to have this consciousness, that sets us different. So that is why we do evolve. Something was happened to us, and then we steadily evolve because we're a different species we're a different species than what we were 200 years ago, basically,
Yes.
on how
Yes.
we think and how we react to other people, the stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we're constantly evolving all the time. So the
Yeah.
idea
We are
that
not.
somebody has to make us, though, the idea that we have to be created, I don't agree with that at all. And that's why we have scientists, because God doesn't give us any information. We're figuring it all out ourselves. Now, the people who dedicate, and the scientists do work because, I mean, that's how we make things. That's why we have light. That's why we have TVs. That's why we have spaceships. That's why we have, whatever. So, I mean, we are figuring, and we are providing ourselves with answers. We used to think the moon was a god. We used to think the sun was a god. Now we know it's not. It's just a rock and a big ball of gas.
Is it? How do you know? Well, you don't know. Well, you don't. You keep saying you know. I don't know.
Ray, I'm going to edge
Sure
my
as
bets.
out.
Ray, I'm going to edge my bets on the moon's a big piece of rock and the sun is a big hydrogen ball.
Well, if you think, do you think we landed on? Do you think we? Yeah, okay. Well,
not doing
I
that.
don't know.
Well, it's
I
most
don't know.
likely,
You must have some insight which I don't have. You were
Yeah.
just going off what you're going off what you've been told and what you've seen on TV.
Ray, why have you got books behind you?
Just a sec,
Ray, why have you
just
got
a
books
sec,
behind you?
Sorry,
Why have you got books behind you?
because I read books.
Why? Why do you read books if you don't know?
Because
If you can't believe anything?
I like hearing different people's perceptions like yours. But I don't necessarily believe them. And a lot of these books are from my generation. So they're not history books. They're now. Right? But what I'm saying to you, you're going off your perception of reality. And your perception of reality has been made from information received. Where have you got that information from? What you've been told. What you've been told, not what you've seen. You haven't seen it. It's just your perception of reality. It's your perception of reality.
Ray, but that's how we work as a species. We spread knowledge. Some people are better at things than the others. And then the best people that do that, they do that, and then they say, this is what this is. And then the other people who are good at other stuff, they do that, and that's how we're so successful as a species.
But you're on about historical things. You're on about, say, for example, the moon landings. How do you know the moon landings took place?
Oh, Ray, we're not doing that. We're not doing
that. No, but this is what I mean. You're not doing that because you've got such a strong belief about what you think. You think everybody else is wrong like me. I don't know, is what I'm saying to you. I really don't know.
Ray, you've got a strong belief.
No, I haven't. No, I haven't because I'm saying I'm saying I don't know. I'm saying I don't know.
Yeah, but you're sticking at that belief. You're willing to sit.
What, the belief that I don't know? No, I'm saying you could be right. I'm saying I could be right. Or somebody else could be right, not me. No, I don't know.
Ray, you're saying you absolutely don't believe in any of the scientists.
Yeah.
Or what people are telling you.
No, that's bollocks. No, that's not true.
What he's saying, he'd rather believe in the scientists who were
Which
smart
ones,
people. Well, in general. We know there's a lot of them full of shit.
In general, Steve, a lot of people believe in what's gone on in the last 2 years, but I don't. I bloody well don't. But in general, people do. But I don't.
But I agree with what in general. I would rather go off a scientist, somebody who spent their life studying something, than Joe Bloggs.
Who've been taught through an establishment system. They've all been taught through an establishment system. The doctors, the scientists.
Right, let's catch up with chat now. Andy says because it's not within your understanding. So how do you pronounce your name there? Sorry, are we saying your name correctly? Otangelo. Say with most of us, we haven't qualified as a physicist, astronomer, and dedicated to our lives to gain that superior knowledge because it's not within your understanding. Same with most of us, we haven't qualified as a physicist, astronomer, and dedicated our lives to gain that superior knowledge. What blows my mind is I believe in the Big Bang, evolution, etc. But what I can't comprehend is how it started. Who, what, God, whatever it created that start and what existed before. We're doing the Big Bang next Wednesday, Chris.
Let me maybe answer to that.
Go on, Angela.
We have scientific evidence and also philosophical reasons to believe that the universe isn't eternal, but it had a start, it had a beginning.
Yeah.
And the question, of course, is as soon as we have that picture, why and how did the universe start? And there is a very famous argument, the Kalam cosmological argument, which says everything that begins to exist has a cause, and the universe had a beginning, therefore the universe had a cause. And then the philosophical question is, well, what was the cause which instantiated the Big Bang and the universe? And I, of course, as a Christian, I think that religion and science converges to the same answer, that there has to be a supernatural entity which is above the physical creation, which created the physical and also the spiritual, also the mind. Because if you don't believe that God exists, then you have to believe that matter somehow became conscious, started to understand language, started to recognize logic, then started to make philosophical arguments about matter. How does that make sense?
The same thing with the God, though, Tangelo. How does the God then create? I mean, we are doing this on Wednesday, so I don't want to step on the toes of Wednesday's show. We're doing the Big Bang actually on Wednesday. so we can get back
you're
to
welcome
this
to come on Wednesday.
simulation.
This is
Yeah,
something we're discussing the Big Bang.
yeah. We are doing the Big Bang on Wednesday.
Wednesday
Sorry,
night, we're going to be having
Sorry
this.
about that. My wife was just telling me off for shouting. She said, "Oh, the street can hear me." I'm sorry. I apologise.
Oh, give
I
over, Ray.
apologise. I
Ray,
You're
apologise.
never-
getting excited
Ray.
again. You're speaking to that bloody wall.
Can I just say one thing though, guys? It's important to me this, and I don't mean to be disrespectful. I really don't.
Go on, Ray.
But
Go
what
on.
I've noticed is this, Steve. If I go start talking about anything which is not establishment type thinking, you always say, "Oh, don't go off now. You're going down rabbit." Of course I am, because I'm going away from what your perception of reality is.
No.
I'm challenging your perception of reality.
No, I know.
But you won't accept that. You said that's
Ray,
not real.
Ray.
You'd rather listen to the scientists.
No, when we say that is because the show is about his life is simulation.
Correct. But how can you talk about that? How can you talk about that without me saying you don't know what this is and you saying, yeah, I do?
No, but Ray, we've gone from that to did they land on the moon? That's
same thing. It's same thing. Steve, it's same thing. It's exactly the same. It's exactly the same because you were thinking that happened, and I'm saying to you, this is your perception of everything. You can't say that.
But it's going off topic.
It's not. No, it isn't. Because it's all about is this a simulation?
Ray,
Was the moon landing not a simulation?
Ray, let me tell you something. First of all, when it comes to ultimate reality, nobody has answers to what exists or does not exist beyond the physical universe. So all we can do is collect the evidence and the information that we have, and then use abductive reasoning to the best explanation. And I, as a Christian, I believe that the God explains our existence in a more case-adequate way than the no-God hypothesis, because we see that the universe is fine-tuned. The universe had a beginning. The universe works based on physical laws. The planet Earth requires fine-tuning in order for life to exist. The origin of life isn't explained through science and abiogenesis, but all the evidence points to the fact that it cannot start without injection of intelligence. All these are pointing to the necessity of an intelligence which is at the bottom of reality and created everything, which is eternal, non-created, powerful, conscious, and intelligent.
The only thing what concerns me about education, guys, on all these sorts of topics, it just depends who's been educating you, and we just don't know, and that's my point. It's really difficult. I really don't know, and I mean that. I'm not saying was is wrong, but I'm not saying he's right either.
Ray, let me tell you something. If you truly seek God, He is not difficult to find. But if you constantly put hurdles which are very high and constantly remain skeptic to the God hypothesis, then you will not find God. And if you truly seek Him, you will find Him, or better, He will find you. But you need to want that. And if you don't want it, then you will remain agnostic and ignorant in regards of ultimate reality.
Yeah, but Angelo, who made God?
I think like what Ace is saying there, he's right, but you can't always back up your view, and that's my point, guys. It really concerns me. But we're basing everything on our perceptions.
Let me tell you, I've converted to Christ when I was 18. I am 55 now. I am 37 years living as a Christian. And in these 37 years, I have constantly had conversations with unbelievers, and they all constantly challenged my belief, and that motivated me to go into science and to ask questions in regards of origins of evolution, of physics, of chemistry, of biochemistry, of philosophy, of theology, all these matters that have to deal with origins. And that has just solidified my faith to a point where I have to say, I am 100% certain that the Christian God exists.
Yeah, but Angelo, the same things now that I'm going to say now apply to gods and whoever created this simulation then. Is if there is a God, why did he create all the cancers? Why did he create all the death, all the suffering, all the pain that's in the world?
He didn't.
Innocent pain. And the same thing would be with the simulation as well. Because if you are somebody who's creating a simulation, right, why would your ethics, if these super big, like they're obviously, way advanced, right? Way advanced. And we've got to be talking at 500 years at least to get something to the technology to create a universe, definitely. Now, if their ethics as well, because we're getting better as a people at being better with each other, we think more of each other and all that, which we do compared to a few hundred years ago. We do. We
Look
don't.
what is happening in Russia.
Yes,
I
I
don't
know,
think
but
that.
no, well, we do because we don't send kids up chimneys. We aren't like bloody. We don't do the things that we used to do. But humanity is better than what it was all them years ago. So why would why would a God do things like that? And then why would whoever's creating the simulation put us through all that as well, Steve?
First of all, your
it's not God
simulation
what's doing it.
hypothesis is unproven. You have no evidence whatsoever that we exist in a simulation. That's the same
agree.
like the multiverse. People, they are arguing because the universe is finely tuned in order for us to exist, in order to atoms, stars, planets, and everything else to exist. It has to be precisely fine-tuned. And in order to cancel out God as the fine-tuner, they make up multiverses, an infinite set
Angelo, there's no proof of God. Angelo, there's no proof of God.
No, there is no proof of God. I agree
Exactly,
with you. But
yeah,
the question is not because there is neither proof that God doesn't exist or that the material world is all there is. That's why I say we need to have a solid epistemological framework in order to investigate origins. And what is it? It is first of all that we use abductive reasoning to the best explanation. How does our existence, how is it best explained, even if in the end we cannot prove it, but we should stick to what makes most sense.
That's what we do, yeah.
Right, but the thing is that either intelligence was involved in creating the universe and life, or it was not involved.
Or it was an accident. It was a freak accident. Yeah. I'm not saying I know that.
Right.
But I'm saying,
Right. That are the two competing hypotheses. Either it was non-intelligent stochastic events, or it was an intelligence which was behind it. Now, if you start to study life and biology, then you see that life is basically chemicals and information. And we are not talking about descriptive, but prescriptive information. What does that mean? That means that the information which is stored in DNA and in epigenetic languages directs the making and operation of cells. And I, as a machine designer, I know that I am intelligent. I can make a blueprint, which then can be used to make a machine, a factory, a turbine, a computer, a transistor, and so forth. But non-intelligent mechanisms can't do that. And that's analogously to what we see in the cell, where we see information stored in DNA, which directs the making of proteins, which are molecular machines, and chemical factories, which are living cells, and energy turbines, which are ATP synthase proteins, which generate ATP, which is the energy currency in the cell. So everything that we make with our intelligence, we see analogously in nature in the cell. So if I know an obvious mechanism for something that we know, but we have an analogous situation where we don't know the cause, then it is more than rational that we infer that an analogous cause had to be involved in making that device that we don't know the origin of. So it is logical to infer that intelligence was required to make the life.
But when we create things, though, don't we a lot of times when we create things base it off nature? When we create things, don't we base them off nature? When we basically
nature. I mean, there is an entire scientific field which is biomimetics, where science is looking at the solutions in nature and then copies these solutions.
Yeah, exactly. So
And that, what does that mean? It means that the solutions employed in life, in biology, they are more sophisticated than what we are coming up with.
Well, they have to be to survive, don't they? They have to be. See, Nate, this, what I think is, in my personal belief, I think it's just a freak that happened. Although there are other theories that I'd like to enjoy as well, but. See if it is an accident, right? It's a big, something happens and everything just worked. The Goldilocks theory, isn't it? The Goldilocks, everything was just right. So everything worked. Now, if we're basing all our designs and creation on nature that we see, then we know it's a good building block because that works. Because that act here had to work for us to be here.
So you want to explain nature with nature?
No, I'm saying about how we design things. When you say there has to we take blueprints, you know, we have to build off something like and with information and all that lot. But we take that, don't we, from pretty much from nature itself, don't we? That's how we
yeah. So the question is, how was the solutions which are much more sophisticated and intelligent than ours? How were they instantiated? Either there was
that's what I'm saying.
Either there was a super intelligence involved in creating these things, or there wasn't. So how is it logical to think that no intelligence made things which are much more sophisticated than we as intelligent beings can create?
But why is it logical to think that something created it, and then obviously the logical step then is what created the creator?
Well,
so how is that more logical? How is that more logical, though?
No,
Tanjo, how is that more logical than it being from a freak accident?
Well, listen. First of all, God was not created. He is eternal, and the God of the Bible reveals Himself.
Yeah, but how can He be eternal?
Now, well, I don't know why or how, but He reveals Himself as eternal. Now, the logical outcome of this is: can nothing do something?
This is the thing, isn't it?
Well, I'm asking you, can nothing do something?
If I had the answer to that, Angelo, believe me, I would be a very rich man.
No, it is an obvious answer. No, because nothing is the absence of anything.
That isn't true. It's not that simple. The question isn't that simple.
No.
It is simple.
It's a really complicated, simple kind of hard book.
No, what is nothing? Well, what is nothing?
It's a book called Everything from Nothing. It's trying to explain, but the question is...
Yeah, there is a book, but my question is, what is nothing?
The question isn't right, because the whole thing doesn't make sense. Everything from nothing.
No, it doesn't make sense, but that's precisely my point.
But that happened. But as far as we know, that's what happened.
No, it is not possible, because nothing is the absence of anything.
Now why is it not possible? So what's the solution then?
God.
So where does God come from?
God is eternal. He has never been created.
You have something?
He has always been.
So you can't So you can't imagine something from nothing, but you can imagine something eternal.
Something existing eternally is possible. Something coming from nothing is not possible.
So how is that more logical? Something eternal that never has a start or an end is more logical than something that starts from nothing.
Well, because nothing has no properties. It cannot instantiate.
But how can anything be? How can anything exist without a beginning or end?
That's a mystery. I don't know.
Our brains.
Exactly. No, that's my point. That's my point.
There is no logical inconsistency in positing a God which was not created, which exists eternally. We cannot comprehend it because we are finite, we are limited, but there is no illogical state of affairs in positing a God which has always existed and which was not created.
No, they're both equally ludicrous. Both of them. Yes, but they're both equally ludicrous, though, Angelo.
Well, but one has to be true, and either there was a state of affairs of nothing, which then suddenly exploded and made everything, or there was an eternal God. Now, the thing is that nothing has no properties because it's the absence of anything. So how can nothing do something?
Sorry, Steve. Go on, Steve. Sorry, Steve.
There are other options where in the future we'll find information. We go, oh, it was that. Do you remember
Exactly.
200 years ago we had this everything from nothing and it had to be created? Go, oh God! Now
Yeah.
we know this information.
That's what I was saying earlier about the jigsaw. It's exactly what I was saying earlier about the jigsaw. I reckon that when we go on, as long as they don't blow us up to pieces, if we get to like 1,000 whatever years from now, and we have the information, it'll be a lot simpler than what we're making out. I think it's more complicated now.
You don't have to wait. You have just two options. Either there was an eternal state of affairs where there was something, or there was a state of affairs where there was nothing, and then suddenly that state of affairs changed and created something. Now, that is not possible because nothing is the absence of anything.
There is something else, something in the future, like we were saying, that'll go, it all makes sense now. What we can't get our heads around now.
Yeah.
Why does an eternal God not make sense to you?
You'll find out when you die, Steve. You'll find out when you die.
Eternal God doesn't make sense to me exactly the same way that something from nothing doesn't make sense to you, Tangelo.
So why do you reject the biblical God?
Just wait. Can I ask you this question, right? Because you said it before that you 100% believe in is it Christian God?
Yes, I am a Christian. I believe that Christ is God.
And so you're 100% on that?
Yes.
Right. So let's go around the world and just pick a few religions, completely different religions, like just whatever, not even close to each other. Like Islam and Christian, they're similar-ish, but some of them absolutely nothing alike. That person brought up in that certain place, and you ask that question to them, your God, whatever your God is, how much do you believe? I'm 100%. So they're 100% in their belief, which is nothing like your belief. Exaggerate that with I think it goes into the thousands of the different religions that have been where they are 100%. But so only one can be right of everybody being 100% right in their brain. Can you see how that?
I agree with you, and there comes your investigation. Do your homework.
So why are you the special one? They're all wrong.
Well, because I am taking information from science, from philosophy, from theology. I studied these matters.
There's no science behind God. Angelo, there's no science behind God whatsoever.
Well, Louis Pasteur, he said a little bit science leads you to atheism, but much more science leads you to God. Yeah, so I think that scientific evidence, if you study it, will lead you to God.
Vast majorities of scientists don't believe in God.
Well, that's an argument ad populum.
It's not an argument, that's a fact.
It's a fact.
Well, it's a fact, but how is that meaningful?
Yeah, but Angelo,
is the majority always right?
But as science got bigger, God has got smaller, and that's a fact.
No, I disagree with you.
Of course it's
Explain to me how life came from non-life by natural means.
If you're using science as an example to back up your story, and I'm giving you the example of scientists massively don't believe in God.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't matter what others believe. What matters is the evidence. Do you have evidence that we can exist without a creator?
You have evidence of God. How do you have evidence of God?
Yes, I have evidence of God. I have evidence in nature. I can look at nature.
Evidence of God. How do you have evidence of God?
Nature points to God.
Explain.
The Bible points to God.
No, explain how nature points to God.
Well, I am a machine designer, and I design machines as a profession. So I need my intelligence to make a blueprint. So there are no blueprints without an intelligence creating them. DNA is a blueprint which stores information to make molecular machines and cell factories. So there is no state of affairs where unguided random chance can create the blueprint.
Why?
Well, if you take the odds to make, for example, a string of 100 amino acids to have a protein by random chance, the odds are 1 to 10 to the 130th power. That is more than the number of atoms in the entire universe. So the odds, they are extremely gigantic in order to by random chance to make just one of thousands of proteins which you need to make.
Yes, but that's the
life.
thing. That's the thing why it's so unique, because it's such, like, as far as I know, it's such a fantastic, unique accident.
It's a superb word, that, by the way. What was it?
I don't have faith in chance. Let me ask you something. If you win 200 times in a row in the lottery, and you have two explanations, somebody was cheating, and the other is that someone was just lucky. Which of the two propositions do you think is true?
Fucking cheat.
Yeah, exactly. So the same goes. So the same goes with the universe and life. There are
No, it's
thousands
Angelo.
of,
If there's a chance, if there's one chance in the whole universe, if there's one chance that something can happen, it will happen. There is no two ways about that. If there is one in the whole universe of things, if there's one chance, that something can happen, it will happen. Definitely.
If you have an infinite range of possibilities, and you have just one chance in a set of an infinite set of possibilities, then the chance that this event will occur is basically zero.
Say it again. Sorry, I didn't quite understand that. Say it again.
If you need a specific state of affairs to instantiate something, but you have an infinite range of possibilities, then the chance that you will actually find that set of that state of affairs which will be necessary to instantiate that state of affairs is basically zero.
Why?
Because you have basically an infinite set of possibilities.
I don't quite understand. That's above my pay grade. Is that what it's, Angelo? I don't quite understand that. But let's drag it back. Sorry, let's drag it back. Let's drag it back to what we're on about.
I can make it easier for you. If you see a blueprint to make a house, yes. Do you think an architect made that blueprint, or just someone did throw ink on the paper, and then by throwing it 1 trillion times, suddenly you'll get the chance to have?
Obviously that was designed, but I mean that doesn't mean to say that who designed the God then? If that's the question that'll always go back. Who designed the God then?
Well, we don't know why there is a God rather than not, but God explains the blueprint in DNA.
No. Why? No, I can't get to that. I can't get to the fact that God has been for eternity. That is as ludicrous as something from nothing. It's exactly the same for me.
No, it's not the same.
Is that the same for everybody else? So I'm speaking.
Well, that's just incredulity, and that's not.
I just changed the name from God to Creator. I don't think of a specific religion or anything like that, but I do think there's been a Creator.
So who created
Good.
the
that is the first step in a cumulative argument to the God of the Bible. Once you believe that the Creator was necessary to create the physical world, then of course you want to know what the identity is of that Creator.
And who made the Creator?
Well, God is eternal, as I said previously. He has
nothing physical. But I love the way you say He's eternal so flippantly. He's eternal. No, he's just eternal.
He has revealed himself as eternal, and he has to be, because, as I said previously, nothing cannot do something.
Yeah, but nothing can be eternal.
How do you know that?
How do you know nothing can come from nothing?
Because nothing has no properties. Nothing is the absence of anything.
That's as far as we know in 2022.
You said nothing right now.
That's as how we are. As we are in 2022, we know now nothing can come from something can't come from nothing. But that's what I'm saying. As we go along, maybe we will find out.
Therefore, something has to have existed eternally.
No, well, well, that's a good point. Actually, that is a good point. Somebody has to. No, that's a good point. Somebody has to. But. Oh yeah, that's a good point. Is that I can't argue with that.
I missed that good point. Say it again.
Yeah. Well, if something come from nothing, then something has to be there eternally, which it does, I suppose. Something has to be there eternally. So that's I still don't believe in God, but that's a good point. Is that
Well,
one?
no, he beat you, was.
No, he beat me there. I totally agree with that one. That was a good
right.
point. That if something come from nothing, then that something had to be there eternally, or it goes on and on and on and on and on. Because there's also what's it called? Do you know I'm talking about that on Wednesday? I'm not talking about that tonight. I'm going to talk about that on Wednesday. But yeah, that's a good point. Is that though, Tangelo? I like that. Yeah. If I know, that's what I was just saying.
Wrong, says sorry was.
Hey,
just to make you wrong, says sorry. There is a God.
I did do. I've said it. Do you want me to say it again?
There is a God.
No, there is no God. Why would God? I'm not doing the God thing. But
well, if it isn't the universe which was eternal, then it has to be something else, right?
So no, I agree. No, your point is very good. If something did come from there, then something had to be there before. That doesn't mean to say that God's been there. It's an eternal God, but it does. It throws that's like, yeah, there's something has to come from somewhere. I have a belief that not a belief. I like the idea that maybe because everything was so compact and then it boom exploded, so it all explodes out like that. And then kind of as it expands and it goes so far, and then it contracts and comes back again.
It's going faster. That's what's confusing.
But you know, the problem is with that. If you are proposing an oscillating universe, you have still the second law of thermodynamics in operation, which means that you start with a low state of affairs of entropy, which then directs to a high entropy state, and there will be a heat death where energy cannot operate and do any work anymore. And once that state of affairs happens, it cannot contract again back to a singularity and then explode again.
All right. Yeah. No, I see what you mean. Yeah. He's all because that's
we don't know a lot of shit.
Oh yeah, no.
I know it's doing Wednesday, but the Big Bang Theory is because of the math, because what everything's been measured, it works out because everything's going. They reverse it. That's how they're getting this Big Bang Theory. But it doesn't make sense that everything, instead of like exploding, but it's actually going and faster.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Out.
It is expanding faster and faster. So there cannot be a moment where the expansion goes back to the singularity again.
And this is again, I'm going back to the point of in a good few years' time, we're going to look at the Big Bang in a completely different way because the physics that we're going to learn.
That's what science always does, doesn't it? You know, that's
the
thing about
a lot of this stuff. Very blind. As smart asses as what we like to think we are, we really do know.
No, but that's what scientists do.
Major points of life.
That's the thing that scientists do. That scientists do say we don't know everything. That's the best. That's why they love being scientists, because they don't know and they want to find out the things. Hold on, I've got to put this on that Chris Williams has said. Chris Williams says, "What's funny is if we're in a simulation, it was programmed to make Ray's wife tell him off for shouting."
Yeah, but you see, you keep going back to these scientists. As far as I'm concerned, there's a lot of corruption within science.
There is.
It's very corrupt.
I agree.
It's very corrupt. So all I'm trying to say, one sec, please. All I'm trying to say is, I'm not saying that this is an information field which I'm decoding. I'm not saying that's fact. What I'm saying is I don't know. What you're saying to me, though, you keep quoting science, and I will keep putting it to you. You don't know if that science is true or not.
Because it's the best we've got, Ray.
I'm using the best tool that we have, Ray.
No, it's not. I'm the best. I'm the best tool you've got. I'm a cracking tool. I'm a cracking tool.
You need to make a distinction between operational science, which unravels how things work. But an entirely different question is, how did things come to be? So you have the evidence. Science is moving forwards to unravel physics and biochemistry and how things operate. But then to explain how these things originated, that is an entirely different question. And their philosophy comes in, because we don't have a time machine to go back and see what happened a million, a billion, or whatever years ago.
Yeah.
So basically, what is the path to the cause. So we can actually come to informed conclusions. I disagree, Ray, that we should remain agnostics. And there is not only science. I think that a solid epistemological framework that is based on science, philosophy, and also theology.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally
I
agree with
mean,
that. Yeah.
this is how we're going to get there, isn't it? Well, not going to get there, but through talking, different opinions,
Yeah,
in a
absolutely.
in a good way without shouting at each other. This is
Well,
the only way.
I'm going to finish with that. I'm saying I don't think we're probably not in a physical reality, and I'm decoding an information field. That's how
Ray,
I.
let me
That's
ask you
my thoughts.
something. Ray, let me ask you something.
Yeah.
If you had the opportunity to know a God which is absolutely perfect, loving, which loves you, which wants to give you perfect life, eternal life, which wants to forgive your sins and have a loving relationship with you, would you not like to have that?
I believe the Creator, whatever you want to call them, God or whatever, the Creator created the human. But it's up to the human to evolve and the consciousness level of the human to evolve and to get better. So when people are saying, if there was a God, he shouldn't have done this. If there was a God, he shouldn't have done that. It's not God. It's the human who's done that. That's not God. That's the human. And we
What
have
about
to lift,
cancer?
and we have to lift our consciousness levels. And what I'm seeing now, and this is again from my perspective, what I'm seeing in the last 2 years, people's level of consciousness is lifting. I'm seeing that. I see that. People know the minds are opening more. The minds are opening more now to different perceptions of reality. That's what I see. So
And that's
I think that's what it's all about. I think this is what this is all about. You come to this earth plane from whatever creation, and you come here to lift your levels of consciousness. That's what I believe.
Well, right, the thing is, if God exists and he created the universe and humans, he had an intent, a goal, a purpose to make us, right? And if
Hmm.
you believe in a creator, as you said you did, you certainly would like to know what the motivation was of that creator to create us. And
and
I,
kill
as a
us.
Christian, I believe that God made us to have a loving relationship with us, and that we could love Him back, and that we could know His goodness. And that is
Well,
what I am
may,
experiencing.
maybe I do. Maybe I do. But what happens, and forgive me for this because I see it all the time and hear it, what people do, as soon as you mention the word God, they tie it to a religion. And I'm not religious. I am not religious. But I
You know,
do
I am
believe
not.
in it.
I am not religious either. I am
Uh-huh.
not. I am not adherent of a church or something like that. But for me, what is relevant is my personal relationship with Jesus Christ, which I believe is God, and that is what matters to me. And
You
since I
see,
believe that He is God, obviously I want to know what matters to Him, why He made me. And the Bible tells us that He created us because He wants to have a loving relationship with us.
Why
And
does
the
he make
question
it very confusing? Why not,
He doesn't.
instead of
He
coming
doesn't.
2,000 years ago, just come now and explain things a bit more? Why does it all have to be a big drama of, eh?
It's
Would it not
not.
be a lot better
It's
to
not.
do it
Do you
now?
think there is something confusing about what I just explained to you right
No, I tell you what
now?
is well, I
I'm
tell you what's
talking about
confusing to me
Jesus
is
coming
why
2,000
why
years ago.
why do innocent children die of cancer and why are there insects that lay like eggs in kids' eyes and stuff like that and stuff that innocent people will die? And why does that happen then? Why would
Yeah,
why
well,
would a
that's
god do
that's a good.
that?
Yeah, that's a good
I,
question. I believe in the narrative in the Bible that God He wanted to create humans with free will, which could freely decide what they want to do. And with the fall described in Genesis, this world became corrupt and broken. But I
yeah,
also believe that God he became a man in Jesus Christ to fix what is broken. What
Yeah.
is broken today will still be broken for some time, but the Bible also gives us a prophecy that God will create a new heaven and a new world which will be perfect.
No, but Angelo,
And only
why do innocent people, why do innocent children die? They're nothing to do with corruption.
Because the humans are doing that. In the main was, to be fair, that's created by humanity.
Let-
Humanity
not.
doing that. Your level of consciousness is doing that.
No, what about disease?
well, let
Sorry?
me explain you that.
Disease.
You know, we are all. I
Who
believe
causes
that
the disease? Who causes the disease?
Nature. Nature.
well, the question is, why is nature broken? Why is it not evolving
No.
into a state of affairs where we have eternal life and where we don't have
There's
disease
been death.
anymore?
There's been death before we arrived. Cue dinosaurs. What about the poor little dinosaurs?
Well, the question
you
is,
know?
why has death not prevailed for all time of the existence of the universe?
Do you not think it's a very cruel God that we have to beg him for forgiveness? Right, we're born with a sin.
I
mean-
see it. Let me explain you that. I see it that way. We are all descendants of Adam and Eve. It is like we are playing in the same football team, and if one of the team makes a foul, then the whole team gets.
Well, he's not a very forgiving God then, is he?
Let me explain you what I understand by that. So the entire team gets a punishment. But then there is another team, which is the winner team. And when Christ came, he lived a perfect life, died on the cross for our sins, and he didn't do any sin whatsoever. Now, there is another team. And when I move from the losing team to the winning team, then the winner, which is Christ, his win is attributed to me, and I can get my sins forgiven. I can move from the losing team to the winning team, become a child of God, and then I inherit the forgiveness of sins and eternal life. And when I die, I will not remain dead, but I will resurrect with Christ, which will resurrect me and all those which belong to him. And then we will live together forever in heaven. So through one people of Adam and Eve came death to the universe, but through Jesus Christ, God came life to the universe. He's restoring everything. So I can decide now in which team that I want to remain and to which team I want to belong. I decided 37 years ago that I want to belong to the team of those which win, to Christ. And I think it is the best decision I made in my life.
No, well, we're getting a bit God preaching now. We're getting a bit God preaching now, and
it's one of the worst ideas ever for a supreme being to 2,000 years ago send his only son and get him tortured to prove a point in the backyard of nowhere.
Christ gave his life freely. He was not obligated by
it's
the
all
Father.
about torture, though.
But it's ridiculous.
No, I mean that's it now. We're done with. No, we don't now. No more God. We're not having any more God. We're not here to talk about God.
We don't mind doing a God one, but we'll have a God debate one time.
We're not doing God now because we're getting stuck now in we're getting stuck in this God stuff now, and we're not doing that. We're not doing that now. It'll be yeah.
It's a very to be fair, was I think the topic you've chosen is a very complex one because nobody can give any real answers. You know, with some things you can sort of.
Yeah, I know. But the idea was to talk about whether it's a simulation or not. We've gone down the God avenue now. And it's, I must admit, Tangelo's getting a bit like, almost a bit like knocking on everybody's door and have you heard about my friend Jesus? And, you know what I mean? So, no, so we're done with the God stuff now. Let's get back onto the issue about, God, almost, I can't remember when it began, about whether like this simulation theory again. So do you still believe, Steve?
Guys, I will leave the stream. It was fun to be with you.
Okay,
guys.
thank you, Angelo. Thank you very much for coming, pal. I appreciate that.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Oh, yes, please go ahead.
Whereabouts in Brazil are you actually from?
I live in the.
Nobody fucking cares.
I'm sorry, Tangelo. We always do that.
It's a joke. That's a
It's
private
a joke,
joke.
Tangelo. It's something we always do. It's something we always do.
God be with you.
God, that was a long time coming. Yeah, God, we got right on the God track there. I'm going to go for a spiritual.
No, he's a good guy. He speaks really well.
Yes,
I think
he's a clever guy. He's very intelligent. That's what
he's very
weird.
Yeah. No, we'll definitely have a God debate one time, and it'd be cracking to come on. But we definitely went off. I'd rather talk about did we land on the moon or not? Did we do the landing on the moon at one? I feel like we've done it already, have we not? We've definitely discussed it anyway.
I don't know.
Simulation anyway.
I don't know. I think, Steve, like I say, the problem is with a lot of this sort of stuff, it's everything's based on your perception, isn't it? And that's my point. I'm not saying people are right. I'm not saying they're wrong. I don't know. I don't know. It really is difficult because
anyway, back to this.
I just feel trying to find knowledge, proper knowledge, is not that easy. I don't think it's that easy. Of
course it's not easy, Ray. That's why we struggle. I mean, humanity is fumbling its way along. It's doing the best it can. That's all we are. I mean, that's one thing that you realise from about growing up, is when you're a kid, you just look round, and it's like the idea of a god almost. That people are in control, and the grown-ups know what's going on, and they're all sorting it out, and everything's right. When you grow up, you realise nobody's a fucking clue. Yeah. Nobody's got a foggiest idea. We're all just bumming it. We're all just fucking winging it along, doing our best. And
that's
everybody
what the last 2 years has shown us. That's kind of Ray's point. I totally agree with Ray.
Oh, I agree with that. I agree.
And that's why I think. Yes, exactly, Steve. Because I've heard you commenting with one.
Well, you can go too far though, Ray. With it, I think you've gone too far.
Look, I'm not.
You're a scientist.
I'm not here to preach. What I'm saying is, I'm just seeing. This is from a personal level. I'm seeing people's consciousness level lifting. That's what I'm seeing. Okay, I don't agree. I don't agree with Woz when he said people are a lot better now than they used to be, because I don't think they are. I don't think they are.
I agree with Woz. We totally are. Yeah. Some ways.
Yeah. Some ways. We're always corrupt. People are always corrupt.
Not saying mentally, but compared to what we had when I was a kid.
People have a lot.
Yeah,
we have a lot. And it's the same, and it's to do with the consciousness level. That's why people are better, because people are more conscious now of other people, not like they used to be.
I think the consciousness level's only lifted in the last couple of years.
Can you imagine the common man, the common person, which is us, our parents and stuff, having this conversation?
Yeah.
20, 30, no, it would never.
No, it wouldn't happen. Why? Because our consciousness level's lifted. But that's mainly, I believe, Steve, that's mainly through the last couple of years. That's what I believe.
But Ray, what's happened in the last couple of years? In the way,
don't get me. Don't get me going on that.
I'll get your wife in to tell you off. Look, in the way that in the last couple of years, right, when we were all in the stupid lockdown and everything, people were talking to each other a lot more via the internet, weren't they? Because all this kind of stuff really kicked off. And then
time to think a bit more.
But listen to other people's point of views, because it's like what Steve was saying earlier, and you said, "Oh, my, and mine as well." But a lot of it's since starting this show, because we've talked to many different people, we've looked at so many different things, we've heard so many different ideas. And that's the thing. It's communication, Ray. That's all it is.
Yeah.
It's just. I mean, the best thing is why we're all gonna, we will all get along and get better. Is because we all communicate with each other. I mean, like with different, with different cultures and people, like Muslims and Christians and that lot. We're starting to understand and relate to each other about, as well as atheists and all that. All the different. We understand each other more, and the more you interact with these people, then they're not so bad people anymore. They're more like, he's all right, he is, isn't he? He might think different than me, but he's all right, he is. You know what I mean?
Exactly. But we've all been very heavily conditioned, every one of us. And I think this last couple of years has got people questioning more. That's what I believe anyway.
Absolutely,
right,
absolutely.
yeah.
So I believe then that's lifting consciousness levels. That, I mean, when I came on, I think that, for example, that COVID debate which we had, I thought was pretty good.
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
And to be fair to you two guys, although you don't agree with me, it's not like a slanging match. It's not a slanging match. They're just differences of opinions. But I will get back to that same point, Steve, was I think it's very important. It's all down to that. It's just perceptions of everything. Just perceptions of everything. And that's so difficult to get through because there's not I've seen people on here, Ray can't back that up. No, I can't. I can't back it up. There's some things I cannot back up.
We can't back up what we say, Ray. Do you know what I mean?
That's why I'm saying I don't know. But when I keep hearing people referring to the scientists or referring to what they've been taught in school or university, I'm going to say this. Personally, I think a lot of that's a load of bollocks, being quite frank with you. That's my perception. You might think differently. But this is what I'm saying. Who knows? Who knows?
Why do you have such a distrust of science, Ray?
Sorry?
Why do you have such a distrust
I think it's corrupt. I think it's very corrupt.
Well, everything's corrupt.
Yeah, it is.
But I mean, that doesn't mean that all scientists are corrupt, though. There are good scientists.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. But I think a lot of science is corrupt. I think a lot of medical is corrupt. I think a lot of education, well, all of education is corrupt. That's what I believe.
I think it's more. I think education is more like politicized to the country, isn't it? It's more like a propaganda type thing.
Yes.
Victors write the history, don't they? That type of thing.
Yes.
I think that.
Yes.
I think that's the thing.
So all those things are going to have a massive effect on what we're debating now, because we're not brought up to think what I'm saying.
But the thing is, there's a double-edged sword with this, though, Ray. I think, and it's like, and I agree. It's good that people are questioning everything. But it also goes too far. It goes way too far as well. It's like the thing that was happening, with all the police and everything and all that kind of stuff, where they were on about, defund the police and all this kind of stuff. It's like, you can't defund the police just because of a few dodgy coppers. You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah, but you see, I would see that was probably totally different to you. Because I think that was manipulated by the powers that be, not the opposite. That was manipulated. That's what I believe. Just like the Black Lives Matter movement. Yes. No, yeah, Dave.
No, I agree with Ray there. Well, possibly, this is where my trust has completely gone with the news. Now things are sold. The Black Lives Matter. To do all that kind of thing.
Yeah. I don't listen to the news anymore. I do not listen. I turn the news off. I turn all news off. And do you know what's the worst thing as well? I said this to Matt the other day. It was really, we were talking about something. And when the news comes on, I turn it off. I do not watch the news and I turn it off. And then what was Matt on about? And I knew something about this news that had happened. I said, oh yeah, that's that. And I thought, I still get the news. How did I get that?
I get it from Radio 6. It's the only thing that's...
No, when it comes on radio, I turn it off. I physically turn it off. News comes on, and I turn it down. And but somehow, and I knew... And you get news from... I thought, how did I know that? Really pissed me off, did that?
I get it on YouTube.
That's where I think I got it. I think it's...
Barrier now. Look, here's the news.
Here's the news.
Fuck off!
You know something's wrong when they force news on you like that.
Yeah.
That's when you know that something's wrong. Because I do not listen to the news on the radio. I do not watch the news on TV. Yet, it still gets through. And then you think that's wrong. If news is being forced that much on you, that's wrong.
I don't know if people's perceptions are going to change in the next 6 months. But in my opinion, I think some people are going to be in for one hell of a shock. That's what I think. But I'll leave it at that. I'm not going to go any more on that
I think
one.
every
It-
generation has
it's
said that, Ray. I think every generation
well,
has said
yeah.
that.
I'm just thinking of what I've seen and what I sort of forecast, if you like, in my mind, and everything what I've done has come true. So, yeah, it's all
Rory says,
happened.
hello, Rory. Sorry, Rory's here. Hello, Rory. Good to
It's
have you
all
back, pal.
happened.
Rory says, Ray, you're an educated man with your own opinion. You've obviously researched stuff, and that's your choice. Knowledge stands alone. Yeah, totally.
I think there's certain things where you can have beliefs. I've got beliefs on some things, and then I've also got what I would consider my truth. So I might have a belief in something, but it doesn't mean I'm not able to change my mind on it. But when I've got my truth, you're not going to change my mind. Like in the last 2 years, it's been my truth, and nobody would have changed my mind in this last 2 years, and nobody will
Just
change my mind.
read out Ace's comment there, because this is.
So science can back things up with maths, physics, and engineering. They don't rely on theories.
That's the point.
In some cases, that's absolutely true. That's factual. But it depends which area of science you're talking about. For example, if you're talking about sort of technology or engineering or whatever, that's something you can prove. You can see it in action. But all the things we're discussing, I'm sorry, science then to me becomes very foggy. Who knows?
Oh,
Who
yeah,
knows?
I totally agree with that, Ray. Ray, I totally agree with that. I 100% agree with you on that, Ray. I thought you meant all about
initially I'm from an engineering background, and yeah, of course, there are certain things which you can prove. I can prove that, but a lot of stuff I talk about, I can't prove. And even when I do, even when I give proof to some people, they don't want to hear it.
No, I agree. I agree with you on that, but I agree with it because lots of top scientists agree in the simulation. Well, they agree with the simulation theory, but my problem with it is they agree with it if it's real. That's the thing, because then the numbers, yeah, they do. They agree with if the numbers are real.
Yeah, I agree. No, the point is with all the top scientists, whatever, they agree that it is possible.
Yeah.
If anybody says it's not possible, then
it's one of the. It's the God question. Possible. Yeah, it's the God question. God's possible. Do you know what I mean? But you can't prove it.
Now, going back to the reasoning why I think we could be in one is because again, it's the hugeness of the scale of us being alive now and talking about it compared to in the future. This is what I think you're struggling with was that
really am
because it has to be done in the future.
But we have to get to the future.
Us living in a reality now.
But we have to get to that future.
Yes.
So that why are we not that? Right. Why are we not that timeline?
Presume we've got to the future.
Yes, but
visualize this. We've got to the future.
Well, I can do that now. Yeah.
1 million years from now, we got to the future, which is we've made a virtual reality, or an infinite versions of virtual reality.
Yeah,
because the scale is like beyond blah 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 things. Again, things that we don't know. So, if we've got infinite versions of a reality being made, what's the likelihood that we're not in the first one? We're one of the replicas from the future.
Yeah, but right. So on that theory, which I've looked into this and I've thought about this. So on that theory, right, how many realities? When you're say like because they'll have to be so far into the future, right? Yeah. So our version now of simulation is like movies, isn't it? We have movies, like stuff like that. Now, how many movies are based so far in the past to compared with how many movies are relative to what we are now? So the reality, right? So the simulation, you're going to simulate something that would be like. Because don't forget, you've got infinite reality. So the original one creates a simulation. That simulation creates a simulation. That creates a simulation. Yeah. Keeps going all the way down, right? So that would mean that we are in the simulation that hasn't learned how to create the simulation.
No.
Yeah.
No, that's going to be in the future, isn't it? From this.
Yeah, so we are the simulation that hasn't reached the stage of creating the simulation.
Yeah.
So out of all them, it whittles down then, doesn't it? Because all the others would have created the simulation. So there's not that many. And then there's the simulation is the simulation of us being so far back. So far back. So the simulation's so far back. Why wouldn't they have simulations of everything else? So then the odds all whittle down then.
Well, I want to say no, but I don't fully understand why I'm saying
so,
no.
So can I just ask you? I'll just ask you a quick question then, guys, because it's sort of relevant. I think it is anyway.
Yeah, go on, Ray.
With simulation, when you die, is that you done? Does anything happen to you? Are you just gone? Does your consciousness live on?
I don't know, Ray, and I really don't.
There you go, you see.
No, and I think long and hard about it because there are some things that, like, do you know how we have these discussions like we do, like simulation? We have all the stuff that we do. There's nothing else on Earth that does that. So we are so separate from everything else on this planet, right? So there's no two ways about that. So it's like you've got to think we're different, and then there's when people connect with other people as well, like me and Steve connect, and I grew up with you, me and Arnie connect and stuff like that. I only have a very few number of friends, but you do connect in that certain way. So as though as always, it's like you know each other type thing from that, like when you have your soulmate type things and all that. Because we've experienced each other before type thing. That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
do you know what I mean? On that idea. I'm not saying that's right. On that idea. But
again, we don't know. We don't know what's in existence, do we? Really? You were saying that there's just like there might be a far more intelligent life form than us. We don't know.
But also, don't you think we're quite arrogant that we do think we're so special? Do you not think we're quite arrogant that we actually have to have an idea that we live on forever, and then that we don't just die?
Well,
do you know what I mean?
Steelman argument of thinking how I used to think of. We just overcomplicate things because we're humans and our brain, and we call being really smart consciousness. It's a separate thing. Oh, we've got this. No, we're just really smart. We overthink things. We're the same as every other creature, other than we overthink.
Yeah, but that's the thing, though. That's the thing you get.
We die. We know what it's like not to be alive, and it was nothing. We existed for eternity. Then we appeared. We talked shit, and we fucked off for eternity. We overthink everything.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
I would say this. 10 years ago, Steve, I certainly was pure logic and rational. To me, when you died, you died. That was it. No, I don't know. I really don't.
No.
And I mean that because my beliefs have changed. My beliefs have changed. I think personally, there's a greater chance that we do continue. Our consciousness does continue. I don't think we do die. My body might die, but I don't think our consciousness does. I think we then connect when we die. I think our consciousness level connects with the same type of consciousness level when you die. That's what I think. Not necessarily here, maybe somewhere else.
I like to think that, but then I always think that it's really arrogant as a species to think that. Do you know what I mean?
I'm just saying.
I don't know. I like to think that that we are this sea of consciousness, that we go around experiencing things and stuff like that. I like to think that, but then I also think we're such arrogant fucking bastards that we don't just die like everything else does.
Yeah, but we don't know it. But we don't. Does everything else die? I don't know if it does, Steve.
Yeah, but I mean, I know. But imagine the shit existence of being something that gets eaten alive by something else, and an insect and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? It's just like
you might have been that at one time. You don't know.
But imagine that. Imagine that. existence. So you're us, like, and we're having these discussions about simulated lives and gods and all sorts of stuff, and then all of a sudden you're being eaten alive by a spider. Do you know what I mean? It's like
That's
why
simple, yeah.
why would you go to that? Do you know what I mean? Why would
Well,
that?
I don't think you would. I don't think you would go to that because I think we've evolved to a higher level of consciousness. And like I said, humanity to me, as I'm seeing it, this is only my opinion of it.
Yeah.
I think that consciousness level is rising. I think it's rising, especially over the last 2 years. So I don't think you would go to an insect or anything like that. No, I don't. I think you'll go to a higher consciousness level, if anything. Some will, some won't. That's
Sorry,
what I
Ray.
think.
Just read that out. I can't read it proper. It looks good.
Sorry, Andrew Behan. Behan. Welcome, Andrew. The theory of living in a simulator has been discussed in Eastern philosophy 4,000 years ago. Really?
Yeah.
4,000 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
All of creation is nothing but an illusion. The true reality is Brahman, or that everything else is a dream. What's Brahman?
Yeah. Well, this is it. You see, these
Go
are
on,
just
eh?
different perceptions, aren't they? These are just different perceptions.
Yeah.
I'm going to put light on.
Oh, I don't know.
Well, I think the Greeks discussed this type of reality or what is real.
Well, I think that's probably because of dreams, isn't it? I think it's like the dream world thing, isn't it? Because it's, I think that's where that'll come from. I think it'll come more from the dream world idea of reality rather than technology. I can't imagine somebody thinking they were in a computer program 4,000 years ago.
I personally, guys, think we're in an extremely unique time. I really do. I think it's unique. I think we're.
It's totally unique.
I don't think.
It's the math thing that absolutely fucks my head in. The scale of everything and the fact that we're here now talking about this shit. That's the one that sends me to the.
Yeah, but that's what I don't get. Why is it a simulation?
Because the scale of everything.
Yes, but it has to happen. If it can happen,
I know it has to happen. But
if it can, it will.
Now. That's the point. It's happening.
But everything happens now.
No, it doesn't.
Everything that happened then happened now.
The billions of years before and the billions of eternity before and now, but we're here now.
Yeah, it's time.
Yeah, no, but it's that scale of it all that freaks me out. That makes me think there's more to this.
I don't understand what you mean by that. Just explain it.
It's the scale of everything, the hugeness of where we are and how we've
in
got
the universe.
Everything. The odds, the chances are us being here talking shit.
Yeah, but I mean,
unbelievable.
Yeah, but I mean, from what point are you talking?
From everything. That's why I tried to give the example of the 2 million people of all tossing that coin. Chance. But I mean, it's literally impossible. But we're here. It has to happen. It had to happen.
Yeah.
Everybody, all the chances for everybody, it all had to happen. But we're here now.
Yeah, but it happened. Don't forget it. Yeah, but that the idea is that brief
all the
accident.
Millions of people have come and gone, are going to be coming and going. They've all gone, but we're here now. Do you not get that point of that? Because we're here now, makes it unreal. You don't get.
Well, put it the idea then of your mum and dad, right? So you got your mum and dad, right? So you've got your history with your mum and dad, yeah?
Yeah.
And then your mum and dad go back and they have their history all the way back to their mum and dad. And then they have all the way back to, and they were experiencing exactly the same as us.
Yeah.
As you know.
Everybody was, but they're not doing. There's only us here now. That's my point. So look how huge all that time was.
Yeah.
It's an unbelievable amount of time that we can't get our heads around.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. We
didn't exist for all them millions.
Yeah. All that time we didn't exist.
From the start of time, this hugeness of everything, of the before, the after, all these things we've talked about tonight. It's huge. But we're here right now.
Yeah, but it's huge, but we aren't.
I know we are. I'm not.
You
The
know what
whole
I mean?
thing is
This is
huge.
our
This is-
light, isn't it? This is our
Did you not get the point
little
then
spot.
of the fact that we're here now and the hugeness of it all is that's very strange that we're here now.
But not if you look at the big picture.
That's the big picture. That's the point of us. It's
But
almost
yeah.
mental that we're here now talking about it. You get it? That is mental as fuck.
Well, I mean,
The chances of us of having our life and us blah blah blah.
What do you mean? What do you mean our life? Do you mean me and you, or
Everything? All of us together now talking about this. It's
Yeah.
like beyond. It's beyond everything. But we're here. We
yeah?
are here now.
So
Trying to grasp your head around that. That's why I go towards something in the future.
That's what doesn't make sense to me with that. That doesn't make sense to me. That why you think that? That's what I don't get. I'm getting with you. You know what?
At the moment, we're not smart enough to do this. Absolutely.
Yeah, the simulation has to happen in the future.
Yeah.
If there's going to be a simulation, we haven't gotten anywhere near the technology now. It has to go right into the future, right? No, right into the future. We're way beyond this.
It doesn't matter how long it was.
Right, but it's way into the future. Right. So it's way into the future. But we have to get to that timeline. This is what I don't understand.
Right.
So why are we not the original one?
You're not picturing fully what I'm saying. That's where you're not. Right. So forget about the reality we're in now. We're here. Yeah. Forget about that. In the future, it has happened where we've made a virtual world. Right. Which we know is possible. If anything, very likely. If we can get that far.
Don't agree with that, but go on.
Well, you don't.
I agree with you, Steve. Go on, I agree.
This then was because the vast majority of that is what will happen if we get to that stage. Right. So let's just say we have done.
Right.
So in them realities, we're never going to know what is real and what's not real. Because that's the whole point of the game.
That's not that far down the road, Steve.
Yeah, but that's
the experience.
But the thing,
that's not that far down the road.
But the thing is, though, then you have the God complex thing where you have to question the creator of that sim. Why would they create a simulation that has the suffering like it does?
You're creating the whole game. Right,
yes,
I'm not saying that,
I know, but
the answers.
Yeah, but there be ethics though. I know, but what I'm saying, you've got to look at that way though. You've got to look at then. So somebody's going to create, right?
Don't overcomplicate it. In the future,
overcomplicate the simulation.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
No, but I'm not. I'm questioning.
In the future, we will be able to replicate.
Right? Okay, yeah, fair enough. But
if you start off with that.
Yes, but that's the problem. Yeah, but that's the problem. That's where it falls down. That's where the whole thing falls down. Because this is what struck me as when you said you believe in it, and I thought that's what's bugging me.
I believe it can be true. I'm not saying.
Of course, it can be true. You said you believed in it.
I believe it can be true.
Oh, of course it can be true. We know it can be true. Anything
that will
money on it. I'm leaning towards it being a simulation now.
Right now, so that's right. So that's what I disagree with. Then, so the thing is not to overcomplicate anything, but then look at the basic things of what you're saying. Right?
It's complicated as fuck. Yeah.
No, but at the people. So then you got to look at the people who create the simulation, right? So they're creating this, and like I said, there's also the things. Why would they, so far advanced, come to? Why would there be such a retro thing? Why would it be so far backwards? Do you know what I mean? And then also, and the thing as well is why?
Because you've got infinite versions of whatever you can do.
Yeah, but I mean the thing is, so why would they have? They must have morals. I mean, like as a society now. We are a lot more moralistic than what we used to be. We're a lot more kind to animals, a lot kinder to children. That when we're getting more, fuck me, we're all the woke stupid bastards all over the show now. That won't last long, but So that's going to evolve and evolve and all. So these people will have like, obviously, you would think that there'd be a lot more, benevolence, right? So then why would they create a world in which people suffer and kids die of cancer and stuff like that with the God thing? Surely that's cruel.
Well, no, but
you're talking about the people who've created. They're going to have morals. These people, aren't they? And why, if they're going to create a simulation,
the real world, though, are you?
It is real for us. It's real for us. No, it's real for us. It's real for all the old people who suffer. So like a newborn baby dies after a chance of life. It's real. All the pain is real.
I get all that. I get all that.
But why? So why would such an advert create something that exists like that?
So right, it's me, you in the future, then, right? We're the super brains of the world. I've invented this game. Yeah, it's about life. About back in the 2000s. Yeah, I'm going to recreate a life, and I'm going to go back and I'm going to live a full life as a human. And the point of the game.
That's what I asked before. Is it one person or everybody?
I said I don't know. But that's where it gets too overcomplicated. I don't know how or why or who is the creator or how. Is it a little kid? You're
edging your money on this. You're edging your money on all this stuff that you don't know.
Yeah. I obviously don't fucking know, do I?
I know, but so vaguely don't know. So vaguely don't know. That's what's the idea that you're going to put money.
Right, some things I do know. In the future, we're going to be advanced folk.
Yes.
And the way we're going of creating things, of virtual reality, is going way to folk.
Yeah.
So the conclusion is, it's going to be literally...
You surprised me, Steve, that you think it's that far in the future. I don't think it's that far in the future at all.
I
think you're talking about years, mate. Not
no,
like...
Ray, you've got to understand.
Well, I know, that's what I mean. That's why we have different perceptions. We live it. Me and you was living a different reality.
I'm talking about computer power, Ray. I'm talking about computer power.
Well, the way it's going faster and faster.
You're kidding me. They'll have that soon.
Yes, but if you were going to create a reality like this, if this is a simulation, you've got to go to the quantum reality of it, Ray.
Look at
make everything work.
Don't
forget, Ray, you can't have any glitches in it like you have in a computer game. It can't break down. You can't suddenly have Steve turns up with a fish head one day.
I don't think it'll be long before they can create a reality. What you can't distinguish from this reality.
Oh, Ray,
I don't think that will.
No, I agree with Ray.
Will they how?
Ray, believe me, I know a fair bit of computers. I'm pretty good with
computers.
That's
nothing. But we don't. You should look at that. Whoever put DARPA up earlier. They're miles ahead of us.
They're not that far ahead. Why is Russia not kick Ukraine's ass all over?
Well, I'll tell you what they're saying. Because I've listened to them, and these are the people who are teaching the top. Bear with me. They're the people who are teaching the top military people at these military establishments. I've listened to them. And this is what
why do you believe them, Ray? How do you know they're real?
I'm not saying it. Listen. Just listen to what I'm saying. I'm not saying I believe them or not. I'm telling you what they're saying. They're teaching military people. It's not pretend. It's real. The military people who they're teaching. And this is what they're saying to them. I've heard it from them. Right?
Well, you believe
and
them,
they're saying to them, in the not too distant future, they could have a surgeon operating in Italy, for example. And by telepathic communication, another surgeon in Britain could be following exactly what he's doing, just by telepathy. Waveform. That's where they are. They are. So they could have you as that surgeon, copying that fella in Italy.
Ray, I don't believe that.
I'm only telling you what they're teaching the students. And these are top students.
You just said before, when we were talking about scientists, how you don't believe all scientists, and then you're going to believe that.
No. I'm saying, I know. Did I say I believed it? I'm telling you what they're teaching the students in the military establishments. That's fact. That's what they're teaching them.
What, they're
Right?
saying that's what's going to
I
happen?
believe that because I've seen it. And I know who the people are. I forgot what the
Where-
bloody names, I know that, but I've seen them.
Where
They're
have you
well
seen
known.
that? Where have you seen that? Where have you seen that? I want to watch that myself. Where have you seen that, Ray?
I'll tell you what I'll do was I'll have to dig it out. I'll have to dig it out. I forget
Dig it
what the
out,
guy's
Ray.
name
Send-
is, but
send
I
it
can
to us.
find out for you. I
I'd
can
love to
find
see
out. I'll
that.
send you the video. I'll send you
Yeah,
the
yeah,
video.
Yeah.
I'll send you the
definitely, Ray.
video. I'll
Because
sort
don't
it out.
forget, the biggest litmus paper of what's happened now for technology and as far as advancement is gone is what is this bloody Russia thing with Ukraine. And I don't watch the news, but I know the size of Russia, and Russia's a superpower, and it still hasn't taken over the Ukraine. There's
How do
something
you know
seriously.
what it's Floss, for feck's sake? How do you know what it's done? You know jack shit.
I know
don't
they
know.
haven't taken over the Ukraine because the president's still talking all the time, and is he not the
Oh
president of
yeah,
the Ukraine?
yeah. We know. Yeah, okay.
All right, but you're going to believe that we can do
Ah,
surgery
no,
all on the show.
you keep saying I believe this, I believe other, and I've said jack shit. I don't know what's true.
You
I
just
don't
said
know
it
what's
then.
true. But you seem, I've seen him on telly. I've seen him. Who the fucking hell you
That's
don't know
what
who he
you
is?
just said. You just
You
said
don't know.
exactly the same thing. You just said exactly the same thing, and you said
What
I'll
about-
send you the video. You said I'll send
Yeah.
you the video,
Because he's a well-known bloke who teaches within DARPA.
and you believe him.
No, not necessarily. No.
You just
I'm
said
tell-
you did.
Listen, Woz. Do you listen to what I'm saying?
Sorry, go on.
I'm
Sorry.
saying that is
Look-
what he was teaching to the American military people. That's fact. Whether I believe him
How
or
do you know
not,
it's real? How do you know it's not staged?
oh, I don't know if nothing's real. I don't know if you're real. I don't think you are. I don't think you're real.
I don't think. Although I just did a fart and it was a bit smelly.
I don't think you're real. But
Love you,
you're
Ray,
saying
by the way.
about they've done
think
this
he's
in
been sent
Ukraine
to
and they've
test
done
for it?
that. Where have you gained this information from?
I love you, Ray. Ray, you're
I
Ray.
know, I love you too, Was.
No,
but you don't
I
have
really
to talk
do.
some bollocks.
I know you and all.
No, you're both good guys. Listen, you're both
You're
great
a great
guys.
guy.
You
Ray,
are.
Ray, you're a great guy. We love you, Ray. We really
But
do.
all I'm saying, guys, we have to be very careful of where we get our perceptions of reality from. You know, we do have different visions.
What about this for a question anyway? Right, let's just presume it is a simulation. So it is a simulation, yeah. Do we change anything about our lives, how we are, knowing that it is a simulation?
I know that's the other thing. That's the other question that I had. Why did we just go around doing what the fuck we want then? If anybody who believes it's simulation,
we don't know it's a simulation, do we? If
no,
we
I think.
really-
Yeah, but even if it is a simulation, it still has consequences, though, doesn't it?
No, but part of the simulation is we don't know it's a simulation. We can argue about it.
I know it's not a simulation.
Elon Musk thinks we might be living in a simulation, Steve.
Well, no,
Yeah.
he thinks
And he's a thick bastard, isn't he?
No, but
He's thick as pig.
I think the
it's a
trapdoor is.
possibility.
No, I think the trapdoor is with all these scientists when they do that is they start off on the presumption that it is a simulation, and then they work from there. So they make the leap that if it's a simulation, and then they do the maths from there. But then they make that leap. It's a leap of faith that they make, isn't it? It's the God thing again.
Yeah.
They make a leap of faith that if it was a simulation, and then they run with it, and it's exactly like the God thing, where you can
what I've
run
been
on
doing
with it.
tonight. You know, that's the same thing I'm doing. I'm not
Yeah.
absolutely convinced it's a simulation.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But you make that leap from we're living this, and you have to for it to work, you have to leap from reality to it's a simulation, and then they do the maths. And when they do the maths, then it all works, and it's all like, yeah, and it's more odds on than it is, yeah. But you've got to make that jump. You have to make
So
that jump first.
I take it was you don't believe in human 2.0, do you not?
I have no idea what that is, Ray.
You don't believe in transhumanism.
What's that?
That we won't in the future we won't be in control of our mind. Our mind will not be controlled.
I think we'll definitely go with the, because basically we're plugged in now with the phone, aren't we?
Yeah, we are. Yeah.
You know, so I think we will work with technology. I think eventually we'll have chips in our head, you know, and we can get information direct onto the eye.
You've lost your soul. Then your soul's gone. Then
No, I'm not saying
once they do that, they've got control of your soul.
no. Well, I'm just saying that's the way I can see it go. You know.
I do. But what I'm saying, when they do get there, which is not that far down the road, I don't believe it is.
I don't think that's that far down the road.
No, it's not. It definitely isn't. But once they get there, you will have lost your soul. You won't be a human anymore. That's what I think. There you go. I shall finish on that note.
Well, thanks, Ray. Thanks for that cheery note. Ray, we love you, Ray. We love you, Ray, and it's great to have you back, pal.
Thank you.
Question. What would be your strongest argument about the moon landing not being true?
I don't know if it. I don't.
Fuck off, Ray, you prick.
Bastard. Fuck off.
Oh, I do that. That never ever gets older. Oh, dear. Rory, that's great. Rory, where have you been, Rory? We haven't missed you, Rory. Where have you been?
Oh, cheers, Ray. Nice one, mate. It was,
thanks, Ray. Thanks, Ray, for coming on. And Otangelo as well. Otangelo, yeah. That was
cool guy. Spoke well.
That's got to be the most, the philosophical Saturday night. Yeah, sensible. Yeah, why did I go all them words? Sensible, that's the one, Steve. Sensible Saturday night. Well, would you say it's sensible? That we've had. And then to round it off, on Wednesday, we're doing the Black Hole. Not the Black. That's you, you fat ass. The Big Bang.
Somebody's just come in. Shut up.
Hey,
How much does
Cal get paid then for his escort business?
$150 an hour.
An hour?
Yeah.
And does it take him ages to come?
He hasn't done it yet. It's all a fantasy.
Yeah, but he nearly did it.
But yeah. Do
you know when the bloke said, "Would you go and do all them things?" I had to watch it because Bill's down here. When the bloke said, "Will you do all those things to win my wife?" Did he actually see the wife before he?
He's asked for pictures. I said to him, "Just get pictures."
Yeah, he might be interested. You know, where it is a hat.
Oh no.
So yeah, that's
anyway. So Wednesday, 8:00.
Wednesday, 8:00. Yeah, and also you get right. I mean, we've finished this show now, but you kept saying stimulation and all instead of simulation.
I was joking.
You were not joking about that.
Joking.
You were not joking about that.
I was joking. I said stimulation.
Because you were really weird when Otangelo were on, because you were proper on the God Squad thing, and I thought I was trying to send you. I know. Well, I was trying to send you a message saying, give him the
no, I can see it. I can see it.
Can you see me doing it?
Yeah. To be honest, a private joke. I meant simulation, not stimulation.
Well, I don't know. What was this thing that you had going on? You never used that. What was that for?
All right, let's finish off on that, right? Right, he's an experiment.
Hold on. Do you want to put the picture up again?
Not yet. Let me explain it. Great.
I was doing the FL thing.
Right, let me explain this one before you fix me off. Right. You've got 3 doors. These are your options. 3 doors. All right. Choose one of the doors was.
Number 1, Steve.
Right, so you've picked number 1. Oh, behind the doors, you can win a car or the other two doors, there's a goat, right? So randomly you win a car. The other two have got goats in. You've picked number one. I know which one the car is behind. So I show you door number 3. Are you with me?
Yeah.
You've randomly picked number 1. I show you number 3 is a goat. Now I give you the option of changing your mind, whether you stick with number 1 or you change with number 2.
Number 1.
So you stick with number 1. That's your initial thing.
Yeah.
Chat, what would you do? Because one of them has a massive advantage over the other option. Well, somebody's gone for goat 3, you fucking idiot.
Why does one have a massive advantage over the other one?
Well, I'll explain after we've done it. So you get me? So in the chat, what we're saying, I'll explain it again. You got a 1 in 3 option at the beginning. Doesn't matter which one you pick. What you pick number 1. So there's 2 other options. I show you one that has a goat in.
Yeah,
so the car is obviously, it's not a trick question, is in one of the other 2.
It's 50-50 which one the car is in.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
We can keep doing this like it's in a stimulation.
Well, one's got a goat behind it and one's got a car behind it.
Yes.
So
But
it's
it's not
50-50.
50-50.
Well,
See, what you've done is you stick with your natural instincts. I'm sticking with number 1. I feel lucky with that. And if I were to change it.
no, because it's pointless changing it.
No, it isn't.
Why?
You should always change it.
Why?
Always. Because you got a 2 in 3 chance of winning instead of the 50-50 of what you think that we're having.
What?
Not having it, are you?
So, right on. So, I can see that there's a goat there,
Let me just
right?
explain it all again from the beginning. Fuck that picture off, it's annoying.
You're doing this wrong. Go on.
Typical was. And Ray's right, you're a prick. You've got 3 choices. This is where you have to think of the bigger picture.
No, I've got 2.
No, you don't.
Right, go on.
Start from the beginning. This is where you have to go back. Like with a stimulation, you start from the future and you go back. You've got 3 options. You randomly pick one of the 3. Yeah? Let's stick with you pick number 1. The host shows you one that he knows isn't the car, which was 3 or 2, it doesn't matter, 2 or 3. Then when you get the option, then you should always change.
Why?
Because you got, right, so all right. Say there's 100, say it's 100 to 1. Instead of 3, it's 100. And you pick number 1. Right? So you've picked number 1 out of 100. I show you that 97 of them are all wrong.
Right.
Now I'm giving you an option, and one of them that's left.
Yeah.
The 2, one of them is going to be right.
Right.
So now, do you change your opinion? Do you change now?
No, I still pick number 1.
You're thick as fuck.
No. I'm still picking
You can't
it.
get it off that example.
No, I'm still picking it. I'm still picking that. It makes a difference whether I swap.
Yeah, it does.
I'm still choosing that one.
Oh my God. Can you not understand now? I'm explaining it from 100 to 1.
Yeah, but it's not. No, but then you're going down to.
Right.
No, listen. You're going down then. Shut up. Then it's going down to evens, isn't it?
No.
If there's 2 left, it's evens.
You're missing the bigger picture of the start of it.
Yes, but I'm talking about what I have left.
Because
Look.
your initial.
No, look. Right. So I have that, right? And that's what I have, number 1 and number 2 left, don't I? Yeah?
I knew it'd get you this one.
Shut up. Right, let me explain it. So I have number 1 left and number 2 left, don't I?
Yeah.
Right? And I've already picked number 1, yeah?
Yeah.
So that is evens, isn't it?
No. It's 2 and 3. You've got 2.
No, I already know what the third one is.
Yeah.
So I've got 2 options. I have 2 options.
You've got 2 options, yeah.
Right, so I have 1 or 2, which is 50-50.
Yeah. No,
Yeah?
it's not 50-50.
I have 2 options.
Yeah, but it's not 50-50.
Why?
Because of the previous thing.
No, that's what I'm left with.
No, because you're
No,
left
you don't.
with. No, you're wrong, Woz. Trust me. You're
No,
wrong.
I'm not. I'm so not. I have 2 options now left. Steve, I have 2
I
options
really
left.
looked forward to Woz going. He was right, Steve. Actually, I looked into it and he was right.
No, this is you. That's you doubting yourself right now. I can see it in your face.
I'm not. I'll give you.
Right. All right.
If I'm wrong.
Right. So, this is where we're at, right, Steve? Now, do you agree? I have 2 options there,
Yes.
and that's what you said now. So you've opened that third door,
Yeah.
and I've already picked number 1 from when it was 1,000,000 to 1. So, being 1,000,000 to 1 down to that, fuck me, I'm lucky because I've actually got 1.
Yeah.
That's in the remainder. So I either have the 1 that I went with originally,
Yeah.
or that one.
Yeah. You know that the chances are 100% is the car, right? Out of that 1,000,000, yeah, and you're left with 2.
Right.
And you know 100% that 1 is the car.
Eh? I don't know that 1 is the car.
One of them is the car.
Oh, one of them is the car, right? Yeah.
So 1,000,000 down to the randomly you pick 1 out of the 1,000,000,
Yeah.
and then somebody's showing you that the other 2, 1 is the car. What are the chances you pick the 1 out of the 1,000,000 or the other one that you know is the car?
Right. But
So
then
that's why you go for the other one.
No. Listen.
Oh, you're
shut up. Right. Listen. Don't speak and listen to me words. Right. Listen. Now you're giving me 2 options, aren't you?
Yes.
Now you're giving me 2 options. So I have an option to either go to number 2 or stay with number 1.
Yes.
So that now, regardless of 1,000,000 to 1 or 100 to 1, I am now left with 2. I can either choose to go to that one or stay with that one. So I'm still making a choice now.
Yeah.
So
with the information you've got, what is the best option?
Well, now there's no best option. I have 2 choices.
Because you've got
because I have 2 choices.
Yeah, because you've got added information of why you should swap.
No, that's wrong.
Yes.
Right, chat. What's chat saying about this? What's chat saying?
A million.
Has Big Steve lost the plot? Yeah, I totally agree, Steve. You're totally wrong. I am not
wrong.
You are. You're so wrong. Because I have now got, so all that before, oh my God, I was lucky, weren't I? So I'm down to, now you have a choice. You've either got that one or that one. You can either swap or pick number 2, or do you stay and pick number 1? I'll stay and pick number 1.
Yeah.
So that's it.
No, it's wrong.
It's not. It's right.
Let me try and explain it a bit. I've got to
take this off because that thing's going in your eye. It's really fun. it's like, look, now you're giving me it. So part 2 comes up where I've got
guys. After this, once we've done it, look up the Monty Hall problem, or maybe you can bring it up now and explain it. It's the Monty Hall mathematic thing.
I'll tell you what.
The Monty Hall.
Right, let me put it in my chat because I've had
a really smart woman. She had the highest IQ.
I think you've got it wrong.
Let me just explain. She had the highest IQ in the world at one point, and she was asked this by mathematicians. Said blah blah blah. And she said, "Oh, you should always change it because you got a 2 in 3 chance of instead of a 50-50. What you think it's a 50-50 because there's only 2 left, but it's not. That's what I'm trying to.
But I'm
that's
making
trying
a
to explain
choice.
it with a bigger number.
No, but I'm making a choice.
You're making a choice, but you're missing the point of look. This is why
No,
it's
but
easy.
I'm making it. I ain't making the same choice as
Right,
swapping
was
it.
let me try and explain it one more time with the million thing.
I know what you're saying with that.
No,
but
you don't. You
I
don't
do.
know. That's the point. You don't know.
I do.
That's what I'm trying to explain it again. You've got a 1 in a million chance of picking something. You pick number 1.
Right.
Right. I know where the number is. Right. Out of the 1 in a million.
Ah, right. So because you know.
Because I know, I'm going to show you one number, 87. The other number, 100,000.
Right, I understand what you mean now.
Right.
I understand
But
what you
one
mean.
of them is
Yeah,
right.
yeah. No. The thing. No, I know now.
Are you randomly picking that?
Yeah.
Does it make more sense?
No, it does. I understand now. I understand now. So what? Yeah, I understand now. So you, but that's what I kept missing out on was the fact that you can see everything. So you've seen what I've picked, and you put the.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've seen the number that I've picked. You know what's behind the number I've picked, don't you?
That isn't the point. No,
that is the point. That is the point. It is. It has to be the point, otherwise it doesn't work.
No, it doesn't yet. Right,
it has to be.
Right. I'm getting confused myself, but I don't think it is.
No, because it has to work that you can see everything. So I've picked a random one, right, and you can see what I've picked. Now, if I pick the right one, you can see that as well, and you put a random one. And then they're saying, you better swap because he knows what you've got. That makes more sense.
No, I think you're wrong. You're getting lost there. You're
overthinking.
You're overthinking the simulation.
No.
Right, guys, look into it.
I really need a wee. And what's the chances of this happening?